matter where, no matter when. We will be there. At Fluidra, we develop competition pools for all types of sport events. Because we are Fluidra, the perfect pool experience.
So good morning from Dublin, National Aquatic Centre, Abbottstown. It is day 2 of the LEN European Under-23 Swimming Championships. Day 2 all time as well. Tremendous night for Ireland as host nation. Last night, 3 gold medals. Mona McSharry, Ellen Walsh, Daniel Whiffen with the glory. But a good spread of titles last night, and we're expecting very much the same again today on day 2. Obviously, it is the heat session for the morning over the next 2.5 hours. So good morning from Will Downing, David Thompson here as well. And in terms of the morning heats action, getting underway shortly with the women's 400 metres freestyle, featuring the 800 champion from last night, Isabel Goes of Germany, the silver medalist Leonie Martins, Grace Hodgkins in for Ireland again, the men's 400 freestyle after that. 1500 champion, Daniel Whiffen in the fray, plus pretty much all the medalists from last night. Also Demetrius Marcus, who got the gold in the 2. Women's 100 breaststroke after that, the 50 breaststroke champion Mona McSharry is going in that, along with all the other medalists. There were 4 medalists in that last night. Men's 50 backstroke featuring the 200 champion Kai van Westering, and we go on and on. Women's 200 butterfly, men's 50 freestyle. That is a very, very full field, 7 heats in that, and we wrap up in just over 2 hours' time with the men's 400 IM, in which there will be a few heats. 3 for the moment, but I suspect it might be reduced to 2. So David Thompson, what did you make of the opening day's action and entertainment here at the National Aquatic Centre then?
Oh, it was fantastic, wasn't it? Yep. Fantastic to get 3 Irish golds on home soil. The first time ever, really, I suppose, and well, in the pool anyway. So amongst that, there was just some great races in general, really close, tight races, a lot of races, especially the men's 200 freestyle. Swimmers coming from the back and winning. The women's 200 free was kind of similar, and then we obviously finished off with that great mixed medley relay, which was super exciting. But in terms of the racing, the best event was probably Daniel Whiffen, taking that 14:35 is seriously quick for that men's 1500 meters, one of the fastest of all time. It was some 8 seconds faster than what he went 2 weeks ago. So that's very, very difficult to do, and that was a serious swim. Would have got him a medal actually at the World Championships a few weeks ago.
But we've actually done really well in terms of this competition. Still, right at the end of the season, post World Championships, it could have been very easy for a lot of the big names to say, right, tell you what, I've had my season, thank you very much. But a lot of impressive names, a lot of global medalists have still come here and said, actually, this is something I'd like to be involved in, and it's helping the event considerably.
Oh yes, absolutely. I mean, it's very difficult when you peak for a World Championships. That's your key meet with the World Championships at the end of July, and to then travel and then try and sort of peak again. It's called a double peaking period. It's very, very difficult to do, and you would expect for a lot of swimmers to be slightly slower at this competition than they were at the World Championships, just because of travel. The body can't just perform at the top level for weeks and weeks on end. But what the athletes will have the benefit of, some of the mental pressure will be off. It's the end of the season. It's their sort of last hurrah for the year before they take a wee break and then get into Olympic year. So for some of them, the pressure will be off, and sometimes that'll let you relax and actually perform better in a weird way. So it's funny how that kind of works sometimes, because swimming is so mental. It's such a mental game. you know, at the top level, all these swimmers here, they're all physically fit, they're all technically good, they're all physically ready. Yes, there's little tweaks here and there, but it's the mental game that separates at the top level.
Yeah. We always say every time we come to an event like this, no matter where it is, it always helps if the home nation does well, gets off to a flyer, and absolutely we've had that with Ireland. 4 medals last night, Ellen Walsh with 2, plus her gold, Mona McSharry kicking off, Daniel Whiffen as well. So already 4 medals for Ireland, which does not happen that often, frankly.
Never. Of course, any home competition you go to, you know, whether you're, you know, I raced in the Commonwealth Games in Australia in 2018, and of course the Australians always clean up at the Commonwealth Games, and the noise there from the home crowd when the Aussies won gold was something else, and it brings more of a spectacle when the home nations do well, because there's a rise in the arena, there's a rise in the tension, a rise in the energy, and I mean, I'd be shocked if we don't see more medals tonight. We've got Mona McSharry in the 100-metre breaststroke. We've got Ellen Walsh going again, I think the 400 metres individual medley. And of course, Whiffen will have in the 400-metre freestyle. But he's going to have a tough one against Mitsin of Bulgaria, who's the new world junior record holder. So, you know, that's going to be really tight. They're both entered in a 3:44, so he's going to have far more of a race on tonight than he did last night in that 1500.
Absolutely. The women's 100 breaststroke, that's on in about half an hour's time. That does feature Irish interest as well. Mona McSharry going back in that after her gold in the 50 metres breaststroke last night. But also Anita Batatsu won the silver in that. She's going in it again. Sling Stadley of Norway won the bronze. Caitlin Dobler of the United States won the ceremonial bronze. So they're all back in. Olivia Clint-Ibser as well, who came very close to a medal last night in that. So, I mean, the 100 breaststroke, it is actually a great chance for everyone else for a bit of revenge straight away on the hometown hero, if you like.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the 100-metre breaststroke, obviously the 2 lengths of the long course pool as opposed to just the 50, which is the 1 length. So, yeah, very different sort of dynamics to it. You know, you've got to sort of at 50 put yourself in a good position to come home, but the race is not decided at 50. So McSharry, although she has the speed, you know, all these swimmers will have the speed, and they'll need to really ensure that on that back end, that back sort of 25, they're not sipping water and they're almost staying relaxed. You know, when you watch these swimmers race, as we'll see, it looks like they're just going full pelt, you know, pedal to the metal the whole way. They're not. You have to relax and sort of let your body do its thing. You know, it's called relaxed aggression in swimming and sprinting. You would talk about relaxed aggression. So that's what these swimmers are going to have to try and hone in on. Swim at almost 98%, 99%.
Yeah, men's 50 backstroke is on after that, and again, the medalists from the 200 backstroke will be in this, including Kaivan Westering of the Netherlands. He'll be going in heat 4 in that, but Hunter Tapp as well, who won the ceremonial gold in the 200, we will be seeing him, and Peter Kurtz as well, and they're in the same heat 5, which should be quite tasty, really.
Yep, they'll be close. I mean, a lot of these guys, they'll be looking to just get back for finals tonight. I mean, Kurtz didn't have a great, he was a bit off his best yesterday on the 200 back, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes on the sort of more sprint events. Maybe, you know, as the season goes on, sometimes you can lose a bit of fitness, so that back end can suffer, but the speed can sometimes stay. So, I mean, these guys will just kind of work out how everybody's feeling and try and just sort of get their hand on the wall for a good lane for the final tonight.
How tempting is it, by the way, as we've just seen our stadium commentators, our arena commentators in the background there, including our good friend Andrew Bree. How tempting is it, I mean, to pack your schedule as much as possible for something like this, go from multiple, and I mean multiple goals?
Very hard, especially when the meet is only 3 days long. You know, an Olympic Games, you'll know well, is 8 days long, or a World Championship, 8, 7, you know, even European Juniors are all 5 days, so it's very, very tough to ram it into three days. Very, very tough.
So our referees again, Runa Grant and Marina Zimmer. Again for this third session of the 6, our starters Jean-Marc Landais and Helen Desmond. And the technical delegates Craig Hunter and Gary Stokes. So all of our officials are in place. I'm looking forward to seeing Tabite later as well, by the way, who we don't see a lot in international action, but we will today. Women's 400 freestyle. We've got 2 heats coming up in this. Katja Fijn of Slovenia, the fastest in the field going into this 4:08.70. It was Lucy Tesserol who won gold in the 200 freestyle yesterday. And no individual introductions, obviously, being the morning heats. Two heats in this. And all of the medalists from last night in the 200 freestyle are in this. But also, later on, we'll be seeing the top 2 from the 800 freestyle there in the second heat. Now, Isabel Goza could have been going for a hat-trick in this. But more about that a little bit later. We have a few people who have not emerged for this race in lanes 2 and 3. Julia Salin of Italy and Ayla Spitz of Israel. So 2 and 3 are vacant. So heat 1 of 2 underway in the women's 400 freestyle. It's Antonopoulos of South Africa in 1. Hannah Robertson of South Africa alongside Antonopoulos is in 0 actually. Robertson is in 1. So Salin is absent in 2. Spitz absent in 3. Katja Fijn of Slovenia is in 4. Lucy Tesserol, the champion in the 200 freestyle, she goes for 5 in France. Victoria Gusk of Poland, she's in 6. Ratchi of Romania in 7. And Nicole Ritchie of Luxembourg is in lane 8. The first 50 done, and it's Fijn who leads by 0.08 of a second from Tesserol of France and Gusk of Poland in 3rd spot in lane 6.4 behind. Robertson of South Africa currently in 4th spot with those 2 empty lanes along her right hand side as it is right now.
Yeah, with those few scratches in 2 and 3, you know, these swimmers now, there's not going to take too fast a time to get back for the final tonight, but they'll want to set themselves up for a good lane in the middle. So as it stands, it is 4 and 5 as it was. Fijn, the 200 metre freestyle champ from last night, Tesserol. So they're going to want to just sort of vibe off each other and try and get just a solid enough swim to get in for finals tonight. I mean, depending on whether or not there's a full 10 swimmers in the next heat, you know, they're not going to have to really beat many swimmers to get a second swim here tonight. So as long as they're up in the top 3, you know, they're pretty safe for a second swim tonight as we approach the 150 metre mark here.
Yeah, Tesserol just with the advantage, 1600ths ahead of Fijn of Slovenia, who had led for a good bit of that. Bronze in the 200 freestyle at the European Short Course 2 years ago. Couple of golds in the relays, the freestyle relays, in the Mediterranean Games last year, which for very many countries is a very, very big deal. So Southern European, Northern African equivalent, really, when you consider of the Commonwealth Games. They put a lot into it. Obviously, the Francophone Games have just wrapped up in West Africa in the past couple of days as well. So it's Tesserol who leads this at the halfway point. Good advantage over Katja Fijn. Marginal with Guts in 3rd spot for Poland. Ratchiu in 4th for Romania. And 5th is Robertson for South Africa. 6th is Ritchie. Looking for a decent time with Heat 2 and some very big names to come as they approach 250.
Yeah, as well said, we've got Gosa going in the next heat, the champion last night. In the 1500, or the 800, the women's 800 it was last night, excuse me. We've actually got 1 and 2 from the 800 going in the next heat. So these swimmers know that. They're just going to have to try and coast through here as they approach, come up to 300 metres. These girls are all entered in a 4:12, the 4:08 and 4:10. And a very famous name in swimming not present is Spitz in 3. But as we approach the 300 metre mark, 100 metres to go, these girls, let's have a look at the time. Yeah, they're well off at the moment, 3:15. So depending on what they come back on, you know, they'll be roughly around 4:20. So some maybe 10 seconds slower than their best time, so they know they don't need to do much to get back for tonight. Conserving energy is the main goal here.
Well, the fact that we've had a few absentees in this has been a bit of a help, so perhaps they've not been able to go out in the fullest of Saturday morning tilts that they otherwise might have done, although of course it is a heat, it is a Saturday morning. Tesserol and Fine have been well in control of this all the way through. It is Katja Fine who's back into the lead by 700s over Tesserol and Guts in third spot, and these are the three who are well in control and looking reasonably good for a place in the final. Maybe there might be a slight psychological advantage taken in winning a heat such as this, but as it is, advantage is marginal for Katja Fine of Slovenia. They've opened up a decent gap with Guts. Ratio is fighting back now as well in fourth spot, but it's going to be Fine, Tesserol, Guts and Ratio. That'll be the 1, 2, 3, 4. And 4:21.05 the winning time, taking it by 0.4 of a second. So Katja Fine was perfectly fine in the end for Slovenia and reasonably should be okay with that result.
Yeah, she'll be back for finals tonight, no problem at all. You know, finishing all, I'd say the top 3, 4 swimmers, top 3 anyway, should definitely be safe, but you know, it'll take, well, you never know. You never know in swimming. Crazier things have happened, but she'll be back tonight for finals before we have the next heat.
Fine takes it for Slovenia, 4:21.05. Tesserol in second for France, 4:21.46, and Guts for Poland. Now, where that cut-off point comes might be after the top 2, could be after the top 4. We'll know in a moment, because Isabel Guza, the new European Under-23 800 champion, the reigning 400 freestyle champion, goes in this in lane 4. And Francisca Martins, who took the silver last night in the 200, is alongside her in lane 5. This just feels slightly more of a serious field. Not that the previous one wasn't, but when you throw in the reigning European champion, full stop, this is when things get serious. So a full 10 in this. Heat 2 of the women's 400 free. So it's Sara Dande of Albania in 0, Sasha Galt of Malta in 1, Grace Hodgkins of Ireland in 2, Leonie Mertens of Germany in 3, Isabel Goza, the 800 champion last night, she goes in 4 for Germany, Francisca Suarez Martins of Portugal in 5, Claudia Talesiewicz of Poland, she's in 6, Joanna Enkner of Austria in 7, Jenny Kurtzer of South Africa in 8, Liam McMorrin of South Africa in lane 9. Approaching the end of the first 50, Goza and Martins. Goza taking it ahead of Martins for the moment. Mertens of Germany and Martins of Portugal are second and third respectively. But Goza, she won her heat quite well. She was the fastest in the 200 metres, didn't come out for the final. She was in the 800 free as well, won that by an absolute canter, having taken medals in all of those distances at the Europeans in Rome last year, plus 4 years earlier in 2018, bronze in the 4x2 freestyle. At the 100, it's Isabel Goza who leads by half a second over Martins, her German teammate, with Martins of Portugal in third spot.
Yeah, she's out in a 59.81, the only swimmer sub 60 in the field at the first 100 mark. Her best time here, 4:03.47, so don't expect her to be really near that this morning, but as Will said, she won that 200 metre freestyle heat yesterday morning in real sublime fashion, and then pulled out to focus on the 800 metre freestyle final. You know, she's a multi-medalist of the European Long Course Championships from 2022 in Rome, a fabulous outdoor pool in Rome, famously known for the 2009 World Championships, where all those world records fell in the shiny suits. But Gosa now extending her lead, going for it a little bit more than I thought. So expect her to settle into 30-point mids, maybe 31 lows. Just she doesn't need to do a lot here to get back for finals tonight. So maybe expect her to extend her lead slightly and then switch off. Yeah, she's dropping off ever so slightly. 2:02.4 out, so that's 103 there, 59 to a 103 on the second 100. But she'll extend her lead here, more than likely touch first, get home, get ready for tonight's final.
Yeah, approaching 2:25, and it's a decent swim. She's doing just what she needs to at the moment, and she's got a really good advantage over Martens, her German teammate, and Martins of Portugal. Turning in 2:34.06, 2:08 over Mertens, her teammate for Germany, Martins of Portugal. Leonie Mertens, German champion, silver in the 800 last night behind Isabel Goza. They took the top 2 steps in the podium. Francisca Martins with the silver in the 200 free last night. Portugal champion over the 100 and the 800 free at this year's national championships. But Isabel Goza with those 3 medals at last year's European Championships in Rome. Last night's gold. She could have done a big double if she'd wanted to. She ultimately didn't, saving herself for another assault today. I mean, her lead is considerable. Just about 3 seconds over Leonie Mertens.
Yeah, it's kind of strange to see that, Will, isn't it? Entering the 200 metre freestyle heat with obviously no intention of swimming the final. It's strange to sort of think, why use your energy? But that was a weird one, I thought.
May have been a late decision as well, of course. It could have been a thing with her coach. Presumably there wasn't a twinge because she was so impressive in the 800 freestyle. Probably it was a decision maybe made late, or perhaps it was further in advance that she wouldn't do all 3 finals across the space of, well, effectively 24 hours, 25 hours. But this is a really good Saturday morning swim. It's not even 10 a.m. and she's going to win this by a long way. 4:08.51 is 13 seconds faster than the previous winning time. Mertens in second place, her German teammate. Martins of Portugal in third. Tarasiewicz in fourth for Poland, and fifth was Joanna Egner. 4:21.05 was the previous winning time, so the top 5 are all faster than that. Now, Grace Hodgkins was 4:25 in sixth place here. I think she should probably just-ish sneak into the final by a few tenths. That's just working using mental arithmetic, which we didn't need for Isabel Goza because she was always going to be the number 1 in this. Job done. Dankeschön.
Yeah, we'll wait for confirmation to come up there to see if Hodgkins, the local swimmer, has made it, but it'll be tight for her. It was 4:21 in the last, so top 5 there. We'll all through. Fastest 5 for tonight's final. Look very routine for Goza.
So Isabel Goza takes the win, 4:08.51. She won by 4 seconds over Leonie Mertens of Germany. Francisca Martins third for Portugal. Tarasiewicz, Egner, Grace Hodgkins next up. Certainly the top 5 will make it. We'll know in a moment if Grace Hodgkins will have some home Irish interest in the final. And the answer is, well, she's a reserve. 10th fastest. Goza and Mertens well clear of the rest.
Yeah, just top 8 for that final tonight. For some reason, there was top 10s last night in a few finals, so maybe the 400 free, just the top 8 going in, maybe, because it's a slightly smaller field. I'm not too sure, but that was summary of your women's 400 metre freestyle. On to the men now.
So the men's 400 free, we have 4 heats in this, and this is the nominally slowest of the 3. So we're underway. It's Henry Lowe of South Africa. He's in 3. Yigas Jonsson of the Faroe Islands is in 4, and Thomas Forbes of South Africa is in lane 5. It strikes me that it might actually be, just going back to the women's for a moment, might actually be a 10-lane final. That might be a little graphical...
True, might be, yeah.
Trick? Not sure.
Trick.
Tell you what, we'll know tonight.
That was a great start, though, there from Lowe, South African swimmer, in the 400 free here. Just was way ahead. Very high kind of head position, body position, bouncing a little bit. But none of these swimmers will make finals tonight. You know, they're all about just getting the time in for the end of the season. Last 400 free they'll do this year. So South Africans making the somewhat long trip over here to Dublin to race. He's out in a 56.2. That's pretty quick. Pretty quick for the front end for Lowe. He doesn't have an entry time. The only swimmer with an entry time is Jensen, the Faroe Island swimmer, in the middle in a 4:08. So Lowe with no entry time on this, but Will's got it up here. What's he in, Will?
Yeah, he's a 3:56 man in his career. That was 2 years ago, medaling in the Durban Grand Prix in 2021. Whether it would make him competitive for this. In terms of the timings, if he'd swam that this year, probably he'd have got into Heat 3 of the 4, nominally speaking. So on his day, he's decent. We'll just have to see if this is his day.
Yeah, well, he's out in a 56, and then he was a 1:26 there, so, he has to hold kind of 30 points, maybe 30-point mids if he comes back, sub 30. So we'll see kind of where he's at here. We'll get a much better idea at the 200-meter mark. If he's sub sort of 156, 157, yeah, he's right in and around there. He just needs to hang on to those 30-point lows, before he comes home, and maybe, like I said, 29, anything. We saw Whiffen last night in the 50-100, came back on a 27 low, which is moving at the end of a 1500. So these swimmers do have a great turn of speed. They will practice, although this is a more distance-orientated event, you need to be extremely fit to do this event. You have to have that turn of speed, especially coming from the legs in that last 50. If you watch back the race, Whiffen last night, he just went to his legs, started kicking his legs, and the arms followed. So, that's what he'll be thinking about coming up to this 300-meter mark. He'll want to really put the burners on now. Not really, maybe quite yet, but definitely approaching this turn. He'll want to accelerate into the turn and then kick for home. 3:56 is a good goal for him. He's going to need to work on this back 100, though, to have any chance of going near it, I think.
So approaching 300 now with 100 to go in this first heat of the men's 400 freestyle. Henry Lowe of South Africa turning 2:57.60. Janssen is going to be around 7 seconds down, if that, for the Faroe Islands. 8.3. Forbes of South Africa only turning now. He's 13 seconds down in 3:10. There's 60 to go for Henry Lowe, who's producing a good performance here, and had he come into this with a time, he would have been a bit higher up in the pecking order. But he's not come in registered with a time, which is an interesting one.
Yeah, legs are going now well, look. Like I said, the legs, once you bring in the legs and you save them that first 300 and then bring them in, his time will drop. He will really power home now, trying to keep that head really nice and still as he's 15 out here from the wall. Great leg kick. He should be around 3:56 as he approaches this last 5 meters here.
So he's on the way to get the victory. Lowe takes it 3:56.52 for Henry Lowe in the end. Well, that's a really good time. That looks like a lifetime best, actually, as it happens. And Janssen in second spot, and Forbes will come through in third. That is just about a third of a second faster from what he finished a couple of years ago in that Durban Grand Prix. That's what's down as his lifetime best, according to World Aquatics. So that's a really good result for him. 3:56.52. That is knocking around the range of those in Heat 3. Henry Lowe takes the victory. 3:56.52. He is a 12.5 second margin of victory in the end over Ligis Janssen of the Faroe Islands.
Yeah, his last 100 was a 58.9, so rapid. The last 100 meters, perfect way to swim a 400 free.
Heat 2 features Oscar Lindholm of Denmark in 4. The fastest going into Daniel Skvideris of Lithuania. And Jan Legoff, who won silver in 200 freestyle last night for France, goes in lane 3. Heat 2 of the 4. So 8 going in there. Stylian Kakia of Malta in 1. Jakub Poliacek of Slovakia in 2. Jan Legoff of France in lane 3. Following last night's silver medal in the 200 free. Oscar Lindholm of Denmark in 4. Danielis Skvideris of Lithuania in 5. Italia Kovac of Hungary in 6. Primoz Stanica Pavletic of Slovenia in 7. And Bernard Wolfart of South Africa in 8. Hitting the first 50. First turn being taken by Legoff. 10th of a second clear of Skvideris and Kovac. Tied in lanes 5 and 6 at the moment. In 4th spot, Wolfart of South Africa. 27.22. He wasn't actually that far off the other top 3. And Lindholm of Denmark was about half a second down in 5th spot. Approaching the first 100 of the 4. And still Kvderis looking good for Lithuania, and Le Goff for France in 3. It certainly looks as if he's going to turn first. And actually now in 8, Wolfhard, he's made his way up into the top 3. So Le Goff leading, third of a second clear of Kvderis, and Wolfhard now 0.42 down in third place.
Yeah, much more of a race here in heat number 2 of this, the men's 4 free. So Lindholm right in the middle. He swims out Florida Gators in the States, that famous program run by Greg Troy for many, many years, now run by Anthony Nesty, the Olympic champion from a while back. So Lindholm will have a great turn of speed. The Florida Gators program is known for, you know, its really intense training regimes where it breeds real mental resilience, and with that breeds a real strong back end focus on these races. So watch out for Lindholm, extremely tall swimmer right in the middle, just sitting on the hips of our current leader in lane number 3, that is Le Goff. So watch out for him to try and have a turn of speed. He's a 3:57 entered, so we should see a number of sub 4 minutes here, Will.
Yeah, Le Goff doing well as we hit halfway. Wolfhard in second spot. He turns in 1:56.69. Wolfhard 1.2 behind. Sinica Pavlitic in third position for Slovenia. He was 1.79 down. Fourth is Lindholm, still looking to recover back a bit. He is in lane 4 today, and he was the fastest seed going into this, but he's found himself pretty much on the back foot for a lot of it. And Le Goff approaching the 250 mark. That gap is getting bigger all the time, length and a half at the bare minimum. That lead has increased to above 2 seconds now. Kovac moving up into second place. Lindholm now is in third, and Wolfhard dropping down to 60. He was 31.62, and he was pretty much the second slowest of the entire lot after burning it out in the first 200. But Le Goff in control here.
Yeah, Le Goff looking very, very comfortable, but the charge will come from the rest of the field now, most notably probably from Lindholm of Denmark in 4. You know, these swimmers are going to have to really push it to make back for finals tonight. You know, 2 seconds still the gap, so that's a great turn from Le Goff there, just hanging on super nice. 2:56, so if he comes back in a 58, 57 or so, we should be seeing a time right down around maybe sub 3:56, so sub 3:54 even. So yeah, he's really beginning to move the legs now. The rest of the swimmers can't live with him at all at the moment. 50 to go, unless Le Goff really dies hard in this last 50. I don't expect there to be anybody else but him winning this heat 2.
Yeah, Le Goff has got a nice advantage, but his lead is down to just about a length and a half now. Lindholm has recovered very well. He's come back well on Le Goff, who again, for that last 50, was the fastest by half a second. But Lindholm's recovery has been good. But there's no doubting that Jan Le Goff, feet going well. Le Goff is on the way to get victory, and looking for a fast time here to try and get into the final if possible. 3:55.17. Le Goff makes it, gets the win. Kovac nicks second spot in the end, ahead of Lindholm, only by 0.04 of a second. Jan Le Goff for France, nice victory, 3:55.79. And now he has to wait.
Yeah, that 4 seconds faster than his entry time of a 3:59, so that'll be a good swim from him. I don't know if it's going to be enough really to get back. We've got some absolute killers coming in the next 2 heats.
So Jan Le Goff takes it for France. That was 3:55.17 in the end, ratified at. Kovac of Hungary in second spot, Lindholm of Denmark in third, and Wolfhard, who was up in the top 3 for a lot of that, ended up dropping down into 6th place. Big field in heat 3 of 4, the men's 400 freestyle. The new European under-23 1500 freestyle champion Daniel Whiffen of Ireland in this in lane 4, and the silver medalist in that 1500 free, Sven Schwarz, he goes in lane 5 for Germany. 4 of last night's medalists in this, all between lanes 3 and 6. De Tullio bronze in the 15 free, Demetrius Marcos in 6 gold in the 200 free. So this is a real meeting of minds now. Heat 3 of 4, men's 400 free. So it's Lopez of Portugal in 0, Yanchov of Bulgaria in 1, Julia of Spain in 2, Luca de Tullo of Italy in 3, Daniel Whiffen of Ireland in 4, Sven Schwarz of Germany 5, Demetrius Marcus of Greece in 6, Sasso Boscan of Slovenia 7, Lucas Peters of Netherlands in 8, and Andreas Hansen of Denmark in lane 9. So after the first 50, Wiffen just with that slight advantage at the moment, marginal over Schwarz. And as they turn first of the first 50, it's Wiffen who has the lead over Schwarz, half a second. Atulio in third spot, 3/4 of a second down, but Wiffen now beginning to extend that margin. Those two fourth place finishes at the World Championships, the 8 and the 15 free. And remember, being with Northern Ireland, swimming for them in the Commonwealth Games, silver in the 1500 free in Birmingham last year. But Wiffen's got the good advantage. Little bit of a move actually from Lopez of Portugal in lane 0, but Wiffen, nothing challenging him at the moment. Schwarz will be in second place, and Lopez now is up in a third for Portugal with 100 gone.
Yeah, Wiffen looking super smooth here. That's a real demonstration of technical prowess on this freestyle. Wiffen now, little bit of intent from him. We've got a good mix of speed and endurance in this. We've got Demetrius Marcos of Greece, the 200 meter freestyle champion from last night, as well as Wiffen, the 1500 champion, and Dutulio and Schwarz, who are also in that 1500. So they're more distance orientated, whereas the likes of Marcos is more speed orientated down in lane number 3 there. But Wiffen, at this moment in time, will just be looking to post a decent enough time back for tonight's finals. But if I know Daniel Wiffen, he'll want to make a little bit of a mark. He'll not just want to do his job, he'll want to be in lane number 4 for tonight's final. So I mean, he's a 3:44 guy, which is a seriously world-class time. We'll see what he flips in here. Yeah, 152-ish maybe. 152.2 for Wiffen from Schwarz, from Yanchev out in 1 having a stormer as well. But Wiffen now will maybe continue to try and push his agenda here, push this lead, and then maybe try and hang on for the last 100 metres and maybe just do enough to get the first position in this heat 3.
Yeah, it's just about 3/4 of a length for Daniel Wiffen at the moment over Sven Schwarz of Germany. So that's the same 1-2 from last night in the 1500 free, which in the end wasn't that close, but it was a very good silver medal for Schwarz in his own right. The World Short Course bronze in the 8 and the 15 2 years ago. Wiffen holding his own very well. But Schwarz has just come back a little bit. It's back down to about half a length. Big races for third spot at the moment, which is still being led by Jordan Yanchev, who's 100 metres ago really was beginning to emerge. It's not going to be a big lead for Wiffen here at all. Here's the turn. 0.4. Schwarz has whittled him down again. And Schwarz has taken half a second out of Wiffen in that 50 metres, in that length. In third spot, it's Yanchev, who again was faster than Wiffen in that. He's in third. And Marcus actually was faster as well than Wiffen. And he's in fourth place now for Greece.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much. Well, Wiffen obviously just taking it a little bit easy. There's no way Wiffen's not going to win this heat. He just took it a little bit easy in that 300, let the rest catch up. There's zero chance he's going to be caught here. He'll make sure he gets in first. He'll bring in the legs a little bit, and he'll make sure he touches first. He's chilling now. He's really switched off. You can see his stroke rate compared to Schwarz above him. He's just nice and long as he approaches 25 to go. I'd imagine he'll put the leg kick in, 15 to go.
Yeah, Wiffen and Schwarz it is. And Wiffen is pushing away, but look at Schwarz come. Well, these two have sped up quite considerably. Wiffen will take it, and he's 0.26 ahead of Schwarz in the end. And Yanchev, good performance in third place for Bulgaria, but that'll get the Irish crowds again in Dublin very happy this morning. Daniel Wiffen gets the victory. Hasn't taken a huge amount out of him, and again, he's basically accelerated in the last 100 to get the win and win well.
Yeah, you can see by the stroke rate it just dropped at about 300 metres, 250 metres, so expect fireworks from him tonight. From 5 seconds off his best, as we'll see now. 3:49.1 for Wiffen.
Wiffen takes it for Ireland. Schwarz in second for Germany. Yanchev third for Bulgaria. 3:49.12 the winning time. Yanchev, Marcus, Dutulio 3, 4 and 5 may have a bit of a wait coming, because here comes heat 4 of 4, featuring the world junior record holder Petar Mitzin. Broke that in Belgrade back in January. He's in lane 4, and Oliver Clement fourth in the 1500 freestyle final last night in 5. And Patrick Salmon, who won the honorary silver medal for the United States in 7. And it was last month in July that Petar Mitzin broke that world junior record. Nobody in lane 3. Golozzi has not declared this morning, but it is still a good field. So it's the Adato of Italy in 0, Aslan of Turkey in 1, Batuan Filiz of Turkey in 2, 3 is empty now, Peter Mitzen in 4, Clement 5, Mara 6, Salmon 7, Romano 8, and Percinic in lane 9. And a reminder that the swimmers from the United States, South Africa and Zimbabwe are here to swim for commemorative medals, but the top 3 Europeans get the main gongs, and it is Mara who turns first for the United States, 26.30. Salmon down in 4th, Clement 0.23 down, Mitzen 0.28 down, and well, Salmon was 0.42 behind. Very good silver medal in the 15 free yesterday. Clement, a very good open water swimmer, bronze in the 10K in last year's World Championships, gold in the 4x1500 relay, and he's got 4 Open World Cup medals, 2 of them gold. Turning at 100, Mara still leads for the USA, 54.81, Mitzen 2, Clement 3, and Salmon in 4th spots.
Yeah, so these swimmers have the added advantage of knowing what went before and seeing Daniel Whiffin's 3:49. So for a bit of context on how easy Whiffin was taking that, in his 1500 metre win last night at 400 metre mark, he was about 350. So he was 350 on his way to swim another 1100 metres. And this morning he was 349. So he's got 5-6 seconds in him. You know, at least maybe tonight, 5 seconds. 344 his best. He'll be right around that. But it's going to be between him, I think, and Mitzen tonight. So these 3 right in the middle. It is Mitzen, Clement, and Mora of the States. They're all going to just be sort of eyeballing each other and trying just to kind of get their hand on the wall first for a decent lane tonight, but it's going to be a great race tonight. That 400 metre freestyle final is going to be absolutely superb between Whiffin and these 3 swimmers here. Mitzen, I would expect, going to be the star performer. Clement is a 345 guy as well, so he's right in the mix, that German swimmer as well. He's got a mad turn of speed. But the Americans will have something to say about it as well. But this is just going to be cat and mouse here, Will, until the end.
It's looking like it at the moment. Just look at that real bank from 4 to 6. Mitzen, Clement, Mara. And as they turn first, there will be lane 6 again. Mara who leads. Mitzen now is 0.35 behind that of the 250 mark. Clement in 3rd spot for Germany. Just over 3/4 seconds down. Salmon, 2:24.84 in 4th spot. 1.7 seconds behind after that silver medal in the 200 freestyle last night, and a very, very good win in his heat, but he was just edged out of it very, very effectively by Demetrius Marcus right at the death last night, but Marcus obviously had the European medals to swim for anyway. Mitzen 0.23 behind, Mara leading for the United States, Clement in 3rd spot, Salmon in 4th, right now is finding himself almost 2 seconds down behind the lead. As we're approaching the 350 mark this time around, it'll be 50 to go in the freestyle.
Yeah, Salmon, the silver medalist in the 200 metre freestyle last night, wanting to get into the picture, but at the moment I think it's going to be Mara who's going to take it. Mitzen looks very smooth, very, very smooth. Look at his stroke rate, so low. So he's just kind of coasting the world junior record holder. But Mora looks to be putting the gauntlet down now with 20 to go. It's going to be him touching first here in the final heat.
Rex Mara on the way with Petar Mitzen in 2nd spot for Bulgaria. And they're head and shoulders ahead of the rest. Mara will get the victory, 3:49.80. Mitzen in 2nd. Salmon recovering well to take 3rd place in the end. And 4th going to Oliver Clement. They're the top 4. Decent times. So Daniel Whiffin has the fastest time, 3:49.12. Mara just a little bit down on that by just about 3/4 of a second. But in the end, Rex Mara gets the victory here. 3:49.80 for the United States. Mitzen in 2nd, Salmon 3rd. Clement 4, and Jov Romano not far behind in 5th as well. Lorenzo Golozzi did not start for Italy.
So we'll wait for confirmation of what Will said. It is going to be Whiffin, who is the fastest qualifier into tonight's final. It's going to be a super race, that one tonight. Whiffen looking to add 400-metre freestyle gold to his 1500-metre freestyle. And they'll be looking for the 800-metre freestyle gold, which I highly, highly doubt anybody's going to beat him in that tomorrow night on the final day of racing.
So the fastest time out of that is by Daniel Whiffen, 3:49.12. Sven Schwarz, second fastest. He was pushing Whiffen close in that a lot. Mara, third fastest. Mitson in fourth. Romano and Boskin will be the reserves for the final. Coming up for the women's 100 metres breaststroke, 3 heats in this. The first of them featuring the silver medalist in the 50 breaststroke final last night, Anita Battazzo of Italy. Clara Rybak-Andersson, second fastest in this field, going in lane 5. So Nikolova in 0, Murto 1, Celik 2, Blažević 3, Battazzo 4, Rybak-Andersson 5, Cummins 6, Tabor 7, Erikina in lane 8 in heat 1 of the women's 100 metres breaststroke. And emerging first, Battazzo in lane 4 with that silver last night, 5th in the World Championships in this in Fukuoka a couple of weeks ago. Rybak-Andersson's keeping up with her quite well for Denmark at the moment. Also going well in 7 is Kerstin Tabor, the European Junior Silver in the 50 bronze last year, and bronze in the 4x1 in the medley relay. She's up there, but Murto going well in 1 for Finland. Battazzo, Rybak-Andersson. That's currently the 1, 2, 3. Catching the eye was Tabor. She's in 4th spot for Denmark. So 25 to go. They've really straightened up between lanes 4 and 7. And Battazzo really to the fore with Rybak-Andersson. And Eva Cummins moving up well for Norway in lane 6 as well. So Battazzo and Rybak-Andersson in 4 and 5. Rybak-Andersson now for Denmark, pushing up really impressively for Denmark. It's going to go to Rybak-Andersson. Cummins came very well at the end as well, and Battazzo in 3rd place and a winning margin of 0.03 of a second for Rybak-Andersson of Denmark.
Yeah, Battazzo couldn't really have the back end there to hang with some of those girls, so she gets the 3rd position there from Rybak-Andersson, who was in 1st position, 108, so that should be enough to get back for tonight's final. Battazzo would be annoyed to have missed out on that gold medal to McSharry last night in the 50. But there's no medals won this morning. It's just get your hand on the wall, get a place for tonight's final. And we'll have McSharry in this, the 2nd of 3 heats of this women's 100 metre breaststroke. She was so unlucky to not get a medal at the World Championships 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, closer on thing last night. Rybak-Andersson gets the win, 108.72. Coming in 2nd for Norway, 108.75. And Battazzo swum out of it, down into 3rd in the end. So it's tentative for her. Heat 2 features the new European Under-23 50 breaststroke champion, Mona McSharry for Ireland. She's on 4. And Nelly Schulze of Germany is in lane 5. And in lane 6, Sling Stadli of Norway, who won bronze in the 50 breaststroke last night. And Mataja has won international medals for Croatia in lane 0. So away, Mataja in 0, Davy in 1, Angelaki in 2, Schlossen in 3, who pulled out yesterday with a back injury from the heats, but she's back in now. Mona McSharry in 4 for Ireland, Schulze 5, Sling Stadli 6 for Norway. Vadovikova of Slovakia is in 7, and Molly Main of Ireland from Hamilton Aquatics in the UAE, she's in lane 8. But very solid start from Mona McSharry, and looking quite good right now. And Schlossen for Great Britain has come up into the 3rd place as well. Schulze not too far off it as well. McSharry leading, Sling Stadli in 2nd place. Schlossen now up in the 3rd, 0.61 behind. But Mona McSharry in really good control of this 2nd heat of the 3. Decent advantage, half a length right now over the rest. Schulze trying to emerge back up for Germany. She's come up in the 3rd place. Sling Stadley of Norway clearly up in the second now, but pushing up in three is Lea Schlossen again. It's making a decent comeback and giving a good account of herself, but Mona McSherry is going to get a good win in this heat. 107.30. Schlossen in second, recovered well, and Sling Stadley in third.
Yeah, McSherry, comfortable, very comfortable, 107.3. Good bit over her best from a few weeks ago. So she's just coasting here, getting through the heats to get back for tonight. Schlossen, really good for 109.4, and then Solange in a 109.8. So McSherry back for tonight and expecting to win gold for Ireland on home soil.
Yeah, McSherry taking it 107.30. Schlossen was in second place. Heat 3 features Caitlin Dobler of the United States, who won that ceremonial bronze last night in the 50 breaststroke final. World Junior Champion in the 4x1 medley previously. But Olivia Klint of Sweden. 3 European Junior medals this year. Silver in the 1 and the 2 breaststroke, bronze in the 50, having got bronze in the 1 last year. 3 Swedes in this heat also.
Yeah, Dobler was third at the US trials in the 105.4, so she's in stellar company.
Not only that, Dobler the NCAA champion last year. So, the field is very strong. Samanchian 0, Rodriguez 1, Bukvich 2, Manson 3, Dobler 4, Clint Ibsa 5, Bekasi 6, Booker 7, Bergman 8, and Stoimanova of Bulgaria is in 9. So a solid start by Caitlin Dobler here. Portland, Oregon, Portland Dolphins, the University of Southern California she's been based with also. But that good bronze medal in the US trials, claiming the NCAA crown as well last year, which in swimming like athletics is a really big deal. Dobler turning first and leading Samanchi of Turkey by 3/4 of a second. Stoimanova, Bulgaria in third, just about a second down. After that 50 metres alone, Dobler's in really good control of this, looking to establish the fastest time too in the heats. Her lead is a good length right now over Olivia Clint Ibsa alongside her, who's just hanging on well. And I have to say also in lane 0, Samanchi hasn't got away from Turkey either. She could be finishing in second spot here, but it is Dobler who's going to get the victory. Samanchi in 0, Clint Ibsa moving up as well in 5, and Dobler takes it 108.13, Clint Ibsa and Samanchi the 1-2-3.
Yeah, very comfortable from Dobler. 108.1, back in the 36.4, so really switching off on that back 25 for the United States swimmer, so she'll be looking to get revenge on McSherry tonight and get her hand on the wall. Both those swimmers are 105 girls, so they're, you know, right up there with the best in the very best in the world. Dobler very unlucky to miss out on that World Championships team by finishing third at the US Championships at the end of June, start of July sort of time. So that will conclude the women's 100 metre breaststroke for this morning.
Decent win for Caitlin Dobler, 108.13, ahead of Olivia Clint Ibsa of Sweden. Held up Samanchi well of Turkey, Gulsen Samanchi of Turkey, Turkey in third place. Mona McSherry, the fastest qualifier for Ireland, 107.30. Dobler, Reepik Anderson, Kummet, and Batazzo are the next fastest. Chelik and Bekasi are the reserves for the final. And, well, Sling Stadley, by the way, who was in the medals last night, 12th for Norway here and will not be in the final.
Yeah, very different event. The 100 to the 50, completely different. So don't always go hand in hand usually. So she must be more of a speed specialist.
Men's 50 backstroke up now, 5 heats in it and 3 to go in the opening heat. And none of these 3 have times registered against the name going into this competition. It's Vadim Naumenko of Ukraine in 3, Dana Vanamerva of South Africa in 4, and Julius Nieberg of Finland in lane 5.
A major change of event now, just one length of the pool, backstroke. Key to get your underwaters right. You know, like I said yesterday, for those of you who don't know, you can't go past 15 metres underwater. You have to start swimming. You have to be up and swimming by 15 metres, so that'll be sort of illustrated by a little red line in the lane rope. You'll be able to see it here when these swimmers start. So they have to be up and swimming by then.
So underway in the men's 50 backstroke. And Van der Merwe looking to be the first to emerge. Also now Menko of Ukraine has started very well alongside him in lane 3. Started really well. Van der Merwe in 4. As between these two in the 50 backstroke opening heat. Nyberg is a bit back for Finland here. So who's going to be first to the wall? It's really tight between these two. Now Menko 3, Van der Merwe in 4, and it's taken by Van der Merwe by 100th of a second over Namenko, with Nyberg in 3rd place.
I worry if you play that back, 1 and 2, Van der Merwe and Namenko, they were literally stroke for stroke, exactly the same stroke. Like literally in tandem swimming down there, and they finished pretty much almost exactly the same as well, 1/100th apart. I've never seen anything like that in my life. That was unbelievable. For 27 mids, 27.46 for Van der Merwe, 27.4 for Namenko, and Nyberg back in 3rd, 31.0. So that'll not be enough to get back, but good racing nonetheless. Only 5 heats here.
So here's heat 2. Patrick Fulton of Slovakia is the next to go. He's in heat 4 for Slovakia, and Kaius Stankovičius in 5 for Lithuania. So it's Ruchi in 1, De Santos 2, De Lange 3, Fulton 4, Stankovičius 5, Christiansen 6, Kerman 7, and Alarai of Albania in lane 8. Second heat of 5. So underway again in this men's 50 backstroke. And coming through in lane 5, first of all, is Stankovičius of Lithuania, quite distantly, and in 7, Ronas Kermans of Latvia as well, but it's Stankovičius in 5, and in lane 2, Jano de Santos of South Africa, and moving up in 3 is Philip De Lange now of South Africa too. It's a good advantage for Stankovičius. Comes up, De Lange 26.72, takes it, Christiansen in 2nd, and Kermans in 3rd. That's the 1, 2, 3. 26.72, the winning time. De Lange came to the fore really well there right at the end.
Yeah, always hard to call the 50s, you know, as they come in, especially at 25, 35 metres, especially when it's tight, and that last 5 metres, you know, anything can happen. It's usually the swimmer who wins is the one who's got the best timing, that he's going to finish on a full stroke as opposed to a half stroke or finishing long. So timing's so important on that last 5 metres, as De Lange showed there. 26.72, comfortable swim for him. Probably not enough to get home tonight, but a good swim. And that backstroke ledge you can see on the side of the block there attached, that just takes away that anxiety of your feet slipping. So before they introduced that, a lot of swimmers' feet would sometimes slip, but they've introduced that on the backstroke start so they can just launch off really strong.
So Stankovičius takes it for Lithuania, 26.33, De Lange in 2nd, and Jens Christiansen of Sweden in 3rd. I have to say, Stankovičius really faded there at the end. Heat 3 of the 5. Jonathan Allen of Great Britain going in lane 4, Danziger in 5, John Short of Ireland is in lane 2. In the National Centre in Limerick, Bluefin Swimming Club Galway. So it says Narkis in 0, Charlie Brown in 1, Short in 2, Seika in 3, Adam 4, Danziger 5, Dragalojevic 6, Dietrich 7, Andre 8, Tobler in 9. So away they go, heat 3 of 5. A lot of home attention on John Short in lane 2, but Adam coming out to the fore in lane 4 for Great Britain, and in 5 alongside him, in by Danziger as well for Israel. Adam's got the decent lead for now. Moving up alongside him, Danziger, but Adam is very much in control of that. Adam, Danziger, Dragolovic, the 1, 2, 3. Short was in 9th place for Ireland there, and the winning time 25.09.
Yeah, Jonathan Adam with the serious twitch on that 50 back, just real nice arm speed rate and just holding water That's so important. You just don't spin your arms. You got to hold water. Jonathan Adam 25.09, Dallinger 5.5, and Dragojevic 5.8. So important to just, like I said before the stream started, you know, that nice catch. You need to swim at 95, almost to 98%. If you go 100%, you'll just slip water, you'll catch nothing. So heat number 5 now, we've got Nelda in this one, European junior champion from a month ago in the 200 medley. So it'll be interesting to see what he is on the sprint event, as opposed to the medley, which is more of a middle distance event.
So this is heat 4. Kai van Westering, winner last night of the 200 backstroke, French championship silver medalist as well. Stukmanovic in 0, Levterov in 1, van Westering 2, Pfeiffer 3, Nelda 4, Meritali Satir 5, Morana 6, Harabajiu 7, Sederovic in 8, and Mira of Spain is in 9 in this 4th heat. So there's one to go after this. Way at the first time of asking. So again, lane 3 has started well this time. Benjamin Pfeiffer of Switzerland and 2 van Westering for the Netherlands. Lane 4 coming up is Miroslav Kanelda, but the lead is Benjamin Pfeiffer at the moment for Switzerland. And can he keep this going? Van Westering alongside him in 2 for the Netherlands after that. Gold in the 200 last night, and Van Westering edged up ahead of Pfeiffer by 1900ths in the end. Van Westering wins it, Pfeiffer second, and Kanelda is in 3rd place.
Yeah, it was a super tight one there. Into the finish there, I noticed lane number 6. Mariana, he came 4th in the end. Morana, of Israel, had a super high stroke rate. He was spinning like crazy at the end. But Van Westering held the most water, 25.19, comfortable enough actually in the end. 0.2 clear of Pfeiffer of Switzerland, so they'll all be back tonight, you would imagine, comfortably. Nelda, the European junior champion, the 2 medley of the Czech Republic, 3rd position at 25.4.
Van Westering taking it, 25.19. Pfeiffer in 2nd for Switzerland, edged out of it, and Kanelda 3rd for the Czech Republic, Czechia. Heat 5 of 5. Peter Kurtzer, silver in the 200 backstroke. He goes in lane 4. Andriopoulos in 5 for Greece. And the ceremonial champion in the 200 backstroke, Hunter Tapp, he is in 2 for the United States, the bronze medalist in the US trials. So Chouchouet of France in 0. Desongle in 1. Tapp in 2. Makrygiannis in 3. Kurtzer 4. Andriopoulos 5. Kukula 6, Seki 7, Lazari 8, Nicholas Pedersen in 9. Heat 5 of 5 underway in the men's 50 backstroke. Kurtzer looking to emerge first. Tapp will be worth watching in 2. And in 3, it's Makrygiannis as well for Greece. This is really even all the way from lanes 3 across the 9, I have to say. Nobody barely in front. Kurtzer's now beginning to emerge a little bit in 4. For South Africa, Makrygiannis alongside him, and now Kurtzer takes it ahead of Seki. 25.18 the winning time. Kurtzer, Seki, and Makrygiannis the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, very close again the whole way down. It was really hard to call. Kurtzer looked the most comfortable and in control probably of his stroke and of his time in Seki. Had a really nice high stroke rate for France. He got the 2nd there, and Makrygiannis the 3rd in 25.43. You can see it on your screen there. Kurtzer, Seki, Makrygiannis, and they should all be back tonight for finals. Top 10 in the finals, so we'll have confirmation of that coming up in a wee moment. Right now, in a few seconds on your screen, looks like Jonathan Adam, I think, is top. Yep, Jonathan Adam, 25.09.
So Adam, the fastest so far. Kurtzer 2nd, 25.18. Van Westering, 25.19. Pfeiffer 4. Seki 5. It's nice and tight heading into tonight's final. Hunter Tapp down in 13th. On this occasion, Seki 17th, Charlie Brown 20th.
Yeah, it's going to be close tonight, isn't it? There's only 0.34 separating there, top 5.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be very hot. John Short 29th for Ireland.
Just doesn't quite have the speed yet. Short, very young swimmer. You know, doesn't quite have the strength and speed to live with those guys in the 50. But he will one day.
Yeah, Arthur Tobler didn't start for Estonia this morning. As we move on now to the women's 200 butterfly. Lilou Ressencourt of France going in this in lane 4. French silver medalist in the 1 and the 2 fly. We saw her prominent in the Mare Nostrum this summer. Women's 200 butterfly. So it's Leah McMorran of South Africa in 1, Sakuti of Slovenia in 2, Niradi of Hungary in 3, Ressencourt of France in 4, Marchand of France in 5, Spearing in the Netherlands in 6, and Fabienne Pavlik of Austria in lane 7. Ressencourt showing good in the opening 50 so far in this opening heat of 3, alongside a Marchand 2 of France, so could be France 1 and 2 at the turn. It is not, as Niradi has just got in ahead of Ressencourt and Spearing in 3rd place. Never mind, Marchand just fell back to 5th there. She was looking good for a bit, not now though.
Well saved, Will, well saved. Yeah, so the French here, Ressencourt, well said, she was prominent in the Mare Nostrum swim series, really comfortable fly as she swims through this. Come up to 100 metres here, and above her, or below her, excuse me, Marchand, no relation of course to Leon Marchand, the French 400 medley new world record holder, but her own great swimmer in her own right as well. So it's Niradi, Ressencourt, Marchand. So Tour de Fly, quite a grueling event. Fly, obviously, as an amateur swimmer, is the hardest to swim of all the 4 strokes. It's the last stroke you learn as a kid, right? So it's hard to keep it going for 200 metres, get those arms over. They can become very heavy, especially now as you approach that last wall. It seems to just not come. With every stroke you take, it just doesn't seem to get closer. But as they come in now to this, the last turn, they have the disadvantage of going first, so they need to kind of post a fast enough time to ensure they're back for finals tonight. So Niradi, Marchand, Ressencourt, not much separate them, just the half second. And you should see a bit of a spread now, especially as we enter this last sort of 35-25 metres.
Yeah, it's interesting because Ressencourt for a lot of that 50 had been out in front, and then Niradi in the final 25 of it forced the way up, and Marchand did the same. It is France 1 and 2 now. Marchand slightly leading Ressencourt. Niradi down in 3rd spot in this opening heat. Marchand just again has the slight advantage and will take it to the wall. Marchand 1, Ressencourt 2, Niradi 3. So it was France 1-2 eventually. Marchand gets the win, 2:12.58.
Yeah, France 1-2. Marchand, Ressencourt. So slightly around, well, just over their best for Ressencourt anyway, so I'd imagine that will be enough. It might not be for tonight, you never know. But it should be. They should be back for tonight's finals, but we got some really good swimmers going next. Emma Sticklin of the US, she was 6th at the US trials only maybe a month and a half ago, so US Championships, one of the hardest meets in the world to perform at. Then there we go, confirmation.
Yeah, Julien Marchand takes it for France, 2:12.58. Ressencourt 2nd for France, 2:12.80. And Niradi 3rd for Hungary. So heat 2, Emma Sticklin, who took the bronze to the United States last night, bronze in the US trials. She goes in 4 for the USA. Anja Krevar of Serbia is in lane 5. So heat 2 of 3 of the women's 200 butterfly. So away we go. Antonopoulos of South Africa in 1, Cunha Portugal 2, Latin Finland 3, Sticklin USA 4, Krevar of Serbia 5, Cabanes of Spain 6, and Grabher of Switzerland in lane 7. Emma Sticklin from the University of Texas, and gold in the 200 butterfly this year in the NCAA, and a good advantage early on in this for the first 50. Lahtinen trying to move up into 2nd spot. Sticklin 28.82, Krevar in 2nd, a second down. Lahtinen pushed back into the 3rd by 200s, but Sticklin in very good control of this right now, which is pretty much why she got that big collegiate title earlier in the year. Looking very, very solid.
Yeah, Stickland, as well said, the NCAA champion, but the NCAA championships are swum in a short course yards pool, which is the equivalent of maybe 22, 23 metres short course pool. So underwater is super important in that. So very different to swimming at long course, where it's 50-metre pool. So you see Stickland will stay under the water here for a fair bit. Yeah, look at that, look how far she's staying under. And in short course yards swimming, underwater is more important than over the water. So that's why she can really use the benefit of those underwaters now. In this, she only has 3 turns. Obviously in the short course event she has 7, so that's why she's a champion in that. She's got crazy good underwaters. But Stickland now is just extending her advantage. I expect her to kind of just coast through this last 50 now. Be interesting to see how far she goes off the turn here, because this now is really hard to do. If she goes past 10 metres, that's seriously good swimming. That's very hard to do. What she's doing now, staying under that long, wow, that is really tough to do. Popularised by Michael Phelps and Lochte in the mid-2000s. Stickland now going to take this one comfortably.
Stickland as well, cleared by a couple of lengths and then some. Stickland leading for the United States. Bit of a movement in 6 now by Cabanas of Spain alongside Anja Krevar of Serbia. Lahtinen is a bit back now in 4th spot for Finland. Emma Stickland unbeatable in this, 2:09.54. She takes a Cabanas 2nd and Krevar in 3rd. But a victory margin of 3 seconds at the end for Emma Stickland. Job done. Thank you very much. Back for the final.
Yeah, very professional swim there from Stickland. The American comfortably ahead as the swimmer beside her splashes herself. Looks a bit shocked. So, yeah, comfortably back for tonight. And we have Kiana McInnes going in the next one, the young British swimmer. She actually made her Commonwealth debut at the age of only 16 in 2018, who we've got coming up next. But Stickland takes a 2:09.5.
2:09.54 for Stickland. Cabanas 2nd, 2:12.10. Anja Krevar in 3rd spot. And Cunha, who took the European bronze last night, in 4th, that having been in the 100 fly. Heat 3 then, Kiana McInnes, who took gold in the 100 fly last night. She's in 4 for Great Britain. Georgia Damisiotti in 5 for Greece. It was in the outside lane in that, the Greek 200 fly champion. So 2:09.54, the winning time for Stickland in that middle heat of the 3. It's Teja Primic of Slovenia in 1, Enriquez of Portugal in 2, Leah Polonsky of Israel in 3, Kiana McInnes of Great Britain 4, Georgia Damisiotti of Greece in 5, Laura Seifert of Germany in 6, and Lily Rose Berthold of France in lane 7. Very solid in 4 from McInnes. I have to say also in 7 from Berthelot. Started really well for France. Way over on the far side. Also Seifert of Germany. So McInnes takes it first. Then it's Berthelot. Only 700ths down. Enriquez was 900ths down. She being in lane 2. And in 4th spot was Seifert for Germany. So McInnes still holds the advantage, but really not by a huge amount. Lanes 5, 6 and 7 quite close to her as they're approaching the 100 mark.
Yeah, they're all very bunched up here together, so 3rd, 50 going to be really telling here. But who wants to make a move early to try and take this, the 3rd heat? They know exactly kind of around the times they have to go. Looks like it is McInnes, the 100 fly champion. The British champion also, 1:03.28 for her. She turns in, that's comfortable enough. Don't think that was quite as fast as what we had from Stickland. But now she's maybe going to try and assert her dominance ever so slightly on this, the 3rd 50. Just kind of put the hammer down to put herself in a good position to come home strong. So McInnes, and then above her, and then the swimmer 2 lanes below her actually in lane number 2. That is Henriques with quite a unique breathing to the side on fly. If you see her in the white hat, bottom of your picture, she's breathing to the side as opposed to the traditional way of breathing forwards. That's to keep your body position nice and flat so you don't go up and down too much. But McInnes, Henriques and Seifert now coming in. It's going to be interesting for these top 3 swimmers here at the top of your picture who gets back for tonight. It's all going to be about the touch. Expect McInnes to hang on though.
McInnes of Scotland leading the way by the best part of a length and looking very good for it as well. Ahead of Damisiotti of Greece, the Greek 200 fly champion. And getting a really good advantage she has too. McInnes is going to take this from Livingston. And McInnes takes it. 2:12.78 the winning time. That is 3.2 down or thereabouts on the previous winning time of Stickland. Damasiotti in second, Enriquez in third. That the 1-2-3 with Laura Seifert in fourth place. Gonna have to have a think about that, maybe Seifert. She may well squeak through. Stickland had a very good margin of victory in the previous one. McInnes wins this one, 2:12.78. Damasiotti second, Enriquez third, Seifert fourth, Bertolo in fifth spot. So it's Stickland who qualifies fastest by a long way, ahead of Cabanas in second, Crevar third fastest. Damasiotti made it in the end. Enriquez is the first reserve. Mariana Cunha did make the final as well for Portugal, having won the bronze last night in the 100 fly. Laura Lahtinen of Finland is the other reserve for the final, and Laura Seifert edged out by half a second by one place in 12th. Bertolo didn't make it either. So the men's 50 freestyle is up next. We've got 7 heats in this. Here's the first one. South Africa, Albania, and the United States are all represented here. Hunter Tapp having another run out. This in the 50 free. So Goddard in 3, Urucci 4, Alara 5, and Tapp in 6. Good start by Hunter Tapp in this in the 50 free. And also in 3 by Alex Goddard. They don't have times this year, but they are quality. It's Goddard in 3. It's Tapp above him in lane 6. It's going to be tight. Tapp might just get there first, and he did. By 0.3, Tapp takes it, Goddard second, and Rucci third.
Yeah, Tapp had a great start. Yeah, obviously happy with that sub 23, 22.8 for him. Great swim, Goddard back in 23.1, but Tapp's start was fantastic. Used that power off the blocks and just exploded into his stroke for the 50. Hunter Tapp 22.86, Goddard 23.18, Rucci and Alaraj 26.4 and 7.0 for them in the first heat of 7.
Heat 2, fastest in the field is Luka Kukulisvili for Georgia. Igor Kovalyov of Moldova going alongside him in lane 5. Priska of Albania, it'll be in 0. Vainio of Finland in 1. Mikkelsons of Latvia 2. Lindholm in 3 for Finland. Kukulishvili, Georgia 4. Kovalyov, Moldova 5. Savici, Moldova 6. Maan of South Africa 7. Eidesgaard of the Faroe Islands in 8. And Ligias Jönsson of the Faroe Islands in lane 9. Heat 2 of 7. So away they go. Kukulishvili looking to come out into the 4 in lane 4, and that's precisely what he's done. He's come out very well. Also in 1, Vainio's going very well for Finland right now. This is a very tight one. Lane 7 as well. And 8, Eidesgaard has moved up. And in 7, here comes Maan. Lane 2, Mikkelsons now for Latvia is beginning to push up, but it's going to be taken by Mikkelsons, head of Mahan, head of Vainio. Winning time there, 23.71, taken by Mikkelsons for Latvia.
Yeah, very tight race. That was a good one. Really, really close to 53. It's so technical, even though it looks like they're just splashing and dashing. It's so technical. The dive has to be perfect. The entry has to be perfect. Everything has to be perfect to get a good one. Mikkelsons 23.71. 23.7 for Mahan, and Vanino 23.8. So, like I said, it has to be. You have to nail your breakout, set up your stroke, and then also nail your finish. It's a very tough event to get right.
Philip de Lange, the fastest of the field going in this, 23.21, and Oshin Tebite for Ireland in the Project 28 system. Andrew Addison is his coach. He is in lane 5. So it's Christensen in 0 for Sweden, Kajilas in 1 for Lithuania, Lukminas in 2 for Lithuania, Jedbrat 3 for Sweden, De Lange 4 for South Africa, Tebite 5 for Ireland, Gergely 6 for Romania, Bregish 7 for Latvia, Greenthal 8 for Israel, Nieberg 9 for Finland. So away they go. De Lange 4, Tebite 5 for Ireland, and Tebite is out quite well in lane 5. It's the South African who has the green hat though in 4, but Tebite is just marginally in front for Ireland here, alongside him Gergely in 6 for Romania, and now moving up in 3, here comes Jedbrat of Sweden. This is going to be another good tight one. Jedbrat going up there, and Tebite is in 3rd. Lukminas in between them. So Jedbrat takes the win, but Tebite is up in 3rd spot, and a nice move up into 2nd place by Lukminas.
Yeah, Tebite had a super start, flew off the dive. You know, he just sort of faded at the end. He took a breath as well, about 15 out. That cost him. You got to learn to swim that 50 in 0 breath. All the top guys doing that. So you got Jedbrat, fantastic, 23.19. The winner. Let's move on to heat 4. Fast and furious, these heats.
Lane 4, Jakub Kraska for Poland. Lane 5, Thomas Watkin for Great Britain. And in 3, Benedict Andor for Hungary. So it's De Leiden of Luxembourg in 0, Holmqvist of Sweden in 1, Melini of Italy in 2, Andor Hungary 3, Kraska of Poland in 4, Watkin Great Britain 5, Dobric Serbia 6, Ingram Israel 7, Stoica Konstantin of Romania in 8, Sogard Anderson of Denmark in lane 9, heat 4. And away they go at the first time of asking, and Kraska in 4 looking to emerge first of all, and he has done. Just marginally, just enough of a gap for him at the moment. Andor in 3, Watkin in 5. Kraska still has a good lead. And now in 7, here comes Ingram. Hunter Ingram for Israel, and a chance in 2 also for Melini here for Italy. Who's going to take this one first? Kraska takes it ahead of Melini, and Ingram, 900ths of a second, he wins a bye for Poland. Kraska gets the win, and a good win too.
Yeah, he looked the best from the start, didn't he, Will? 22.7. The winning time there, so just had everything moving forward. That nice sort of high elbow stroke he had, not going for the usual straight arm kind of stroke. Kraska 22.75, Merlini the Italian in 22.8, and then Hunter Ingram just off that sub 23 and 23.06. So we're now getting into the seeded heats, the really fast heats now.
Alexander Cahoon going for Great Britain in 4, and Peter Kurtzer has already been very prominent here this weekend in lane 5 for South Africa. So it's Tistan of Slovakia who'll be in 0. Pascal Buldan of Spain in 1, so Pascal basically. Bilas in 2, Lebois in 3, Cahoon in 4, Kurtz of South Africa 5, Adam of Germany 6, Bratunov Bulgaria 7, Nankov Bulgaria 8, Luka Kvetsko of Croatia in lane 9. Underway then in heat 5, Alex Cahoon of Great Britain. Interested to see what he comes out with in lane 4, and he's come out in front and by a nice margin as well. In 5, it's Kurtzer. In lane 7, Bratunov's beginning to make a move, and in lane 2 now, Sturgis Marius Bilas. Has Cahoon done enough to hold on here? Oh, Bilas has come on really well here to win. Bilas for Greece. He gets the victory. 21.98, Cahoon in 2nd spot, and Bratunov in 3rd.
21.98, world-class time from Bilas. Cahoon couldn't hang on. Cahoon had a literally only dove in, did about 2 underwater kicks. He was up swimming first, so he got straight to the point, wasn't hanging about. But Bilas with a 21.98, really, really great swim from him. Cahoon 22.1, and then Bratunov 22.4. So the 21.9, that's our first 21 point. I wonder how many more we'll see.
Heat 6 on the way. Nicholas Lea of Norway. He's up in lane 4. 22 seconds his time coming to this. The first sub, Norwegian 22-seconder, and Ilya Linik of Ukraine in lane 5. Atianian of Estonia is in lane 0. Seria of Italy in 1. Niewald of Netherlands 2. Persson of Sweden 3. Lea Norway 4. Linik Ukraine 5, Selin Germany 6, Marquez of Portugal in 7, Muller Denmark 8, Likinski Israel 9. Underway in heat 6 of the 7. So Nicholas Lee is going to be very interesting to watch here in lane 4, and also in 5 alongside him. Ilya Linik of Ukraine has moved up quite well. And also making a great move in 8, Muller of Denmark, but it is Leah in lane 4 for Norway. And Leah looking to hold on here. Muller has started very, very well. The touch is going to come in the end to Leah, ahead of Leopold and Linik, and he takes it by 0.45.
Yeah, it looks super comfortable for Leah. 22.03, look, not even breathing at all. Really, really nice. He's flicking the hands over at real rate whilst keeping that body nice and steady. Yeah, I thought Muller was going to maybe get the touch in top of your picture in lane number 8. He was flying, but just couldn't hang on the last sort of 5-10 metres there. But Leah, the first Norwegian to go sub 22, not too long ago. He's at 22.03 now, we're at 22.48, and then Linik 22.5. So we're getting really tight for the final now, Will.
And the final heat incoming. Heat 7 of 7, Vladislav Bukov of Ukraine, fastest going into this 21.87. Jere Rybar of Croatia, 22.17 in lane 5. Dudish of Poland in lane 0. Fabiani Luxembourg in 1. Baez of France 2. Klebis of Lithuania 3. Bukov Ukraine 4. Rybar Croatia 5. Mitselier France 6. Robert France 7. Lindeblad of Denmark in 8. And Prakashka of Czechia, the Czech Republic in lane 9. Last heat of the lot, 22.03 last time out, 21.98 for Bilas in 5. So away we go. So Bukov in 4 and Rybar in lane 5 here are the two certainly to watch in terms of the times. And Bukov coming well in lane 4, Rybar in 5. Bit of a move from Fabiani in 1, but Bukov looks in good control of this. He's got enough of a margin. Now the final 5, looking to get the touch. He's led from start to finish, 21.95. Rybar in 2nd, Fabiani in 3rd.
Yeah, Bukov, very unique stroke, very high head position. You know, don't usually see that on the 53, but 21.95, and I think he took a breath even about 15 out. It's very hard to see with all the splash and water. Well, wow, does he have more for tonight? But notable for tonight, as we see confirmation, 21.95 Bukov. Rybar 22.3 and Fabiani of Luxembourg in a 22.4. That's going to be a skins event final tonight, so we'll explain what that is in the final session. It's a knockout event, very, very fun to watch and different. So that's confirmation of your top 10.
Bukov the fastest qualifier, Bilas 2nd, Leah 3rd, Kahun 4. It's the top 8 who are being sent forward to this. They'll be whittled down very quickly, race by race basically, round by round, and eventually we'll have a head-to-head shootout for the final. So that'll be tonight. It's not something we've seen very much of in Ireland. It's not something that's been done in championships very often.
It's really fun to watch. I love watching the skins events. Different dynamic to the 53. It's not just about speed, it's about speed, endurance, and being able to do it back to back.
And Oshin Tevite in 45th for Ireland. And Ladi Alarai in 64th spot for Albania. Ruchi and Priska, his teammates, there as well in that general vicinity. Women's 100 metres backstroke, there are 2 heats in this. Adela Piskorska of Poland going in 4, Pana Ugrai of Hungary in 5. So 100 backstroke, 2 heats in it. So it's Wessels in lane 0, Spitz in 1, Uda Lenfrik in 2, Wilhelm 3, Piskorska 4, Ugrai 5, Tonrath in 6, Segel in 7, and Berger of Austria in lane 8 in this women's 100 metres backstroke. It's been a very, very full schedule for them all. A couple of names who've popped up a couple of times this morning. But it's been a very, very good start by Piskorska for the first 50. for Poland, 29.65. She turns in half a second clear of Spitz for Israel. Ograi is in third spot, but Piskorska looking decent control of this right now, leading by about 3/4 of a length. Bit of movement coming from Kylie Wilhelm of Germany now, moving up alongside in lane 3, and it's between these two now. In lane 1, Spitz for Israel has emerged really well also in the final 20 metres or so. Piskorska looking to hold on, but will she? Just about, she has done by half a second. Wilhelm in second place, and Spitz in third, 1:01.64 the winning time.
Yeah, Spitz, we saw her pull out of the 400-metre freestyle. Obviously, to focus on this, the 100 back. If she gets her hand on the wall third, should be enough maybe to get back for tonight. Piskorska just back from World University Games, so tough schedule for her. And she gets a touch. 1:01.64 as confirmation comes up. Wilhelm of Germany, 1:02.1. Ograi back in fourth as well in a 1:02.9. So just the 2 heats of this. So only the 5s, 10-ish swimmers to beat total to get back. That's heat 2. We've got Godden going in this one.
Yeah, Isabel Stadden, fastest of this field, a silver medal last night, 5th in the US trials. She goes in lane 4. Lotte Hosper of the Netherlands in lane 5, who was in that 50 backstroke final last night. Maria Godden for Ireland in 3 here, finished 4th in last night's final. That was taken by Tessa Geiler of the Netherlands, who is not competing in this 100 backstroke. Maria Godden from the National Centre in Limerick. She's from Galway, and John Jaranek is her general coach. Bertil Cousson in lane 2 won the European bronze last night in that 50 backstroke final. Piskorska had won the silver last night, the World University Games champion. So Dimitrova in 0, Markovic in 1, Cousson in 2, Godden in 3, Stan in 4, Hosper 5, Acevedo 6, Greshko 7, Ora 8, and Maluka 9. That's the second heat of the 2 in the women's 100 metres backstroke. So Stadden, nice interesting athlete to watch here, having picked up that silver medal last night in the 50 backstroke and having been a very high finisher in the US trials. So obviously she is 100% quality and leading the way by a good bit. But Godden is coming up to the 4 bit for Ireland as well. So Stadden leads 29.13, Cousson in second, Hosper in third. Godden's time has not come up on that occasion, but I made her visually about second or third. So Stadden leading the way, 29.13. And now moving up well is Godden for Ireland in second position with the legs now moving. Cousson in lane 2. Coming up in a third place, and fourth right now is Lotte Hosper of the Netherlands, but Stadden leading all the way in this. Godden may well take second spot for Ireland. Stadden wins it, 59.94. Hosper in second spot, emerged well. Godden third, and Cousson 4. The way it's come up in that. Right at the end, Godden finished very well, 1:02 dead for her. Stadden sub a minute, 59.94.
Yeah, very solid swim from Stadden there. 59.94, looked pretty pedestrian for her as well. She was part of that mixed medley team that won last night, so she's no stranger to medals. Stadden, 59.9, Hosper, 1:01.7, and Godden, good swim, slightly died a little bit at the end, 1:02.0, but she should be back for tonight. We'll get confirmation of that coming up soon.
It's good recovery by Hosper as well. So Stadden the fastest by a long way, 59.94. Piskorska, the World University Games champion in China a couple of weeks ago, actually a week ago. She's the second fastest qualifier, fastest European. Hosper and Godden and Wilhelm are the next fastest. Vilma Ora is among the reserves.
So men's 2 metre breaststroke. Heats starting now, heat 1 of 3. Three heats here. Men's 200 metres breaststroke. So we've got to bring you that. Men's 2 breast, followed by the women's 50 free, just the 4 heats of that, and then The men's 2 fly, 3 heats of that, and the men's 400 IM. We've had some good swimming, and we've got some fast swimming coming up, some revelations in the world of breaststroke. At the moment, Chi of China sweeping the 50, 100 and 200 meters breaststroke titles. Don't think that's ever been done before at the World Championships, and a new crazy fast world record of 2:05.4, I think it was, in the 200 meter breaststroke. So world swimming really dropping, really moving on a year out from the Olympics, as it usually does. So a lot of these swimmers at this competition now will just be looking to post some good times, win some medals, and then have a slight break, maybe 2-3 weeks, and then back to training for the Paris Olympics in 2024. A lot of swimming cycles are based around Olympic cycles, so every 4 years that'll always be the focus for a lot of top level swimmers. So the Olympics in Tokyo obviously was delayed by a year because of the COVID pandemic, and was meant to happen in summer 2020, happened in summer 2021, so there's only the 3 years in between on Olympic Games here, so that's probably why it feels like, can't believe we're talking about an Olympic year already, as there's a wee problem with the timing blocks here as we get a wee switcheroo before moving on. So it's worth commenting on this event as a 3-day competition, very short for an event of this magnitude. Obviously LEN had their reasons to make it a 3-day meet. Slightly mixed up. There's not a full program. There's not all the male relays and female relays. There's just mixed relays, and then a 50 freestyle skins event tonight for both the men and women, which will be really interesting to look forward to. So the skins event, for those of you that don't know what that is, it's a knockout 50 event. So you'll have the top 8 will race the 50 free as normal. The top 8 from the heats will race the 50 free. The fastest, then it's usually the fastest 6 will then progress to the next round, which is done usually maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes after. So the top 6 will then walk back down the pool, and then they'll have to stand up and race again. Top 6 will race each other. They'll race again. Then it's 2 more drop out, so it's down to top 4, and the top 4 will walk back and race, and then top 3, and then top 2 for a shootout for who takes the gold. So it's really interesting. And it sort of brings a different dynamic to the 50s. So it's not just about one blast. Usually the swimmer who's the fastest in the 50 free doesn't necessarily win the skins, because it's more about speed, endurance, and having that extra endurance. Usually, a swimmer who's more suited to the 100 freestyle will kind of win that. So that's going to be really fun to watch later for both the men and women. So we'll see the women's 50 freestyle heats coming up very shortly. As we fix, it looks like lane number 3 at the far end, so not the end you can see on your screen. Lane number 3, there's a wee problem with the touchpad. I actually noticed that when Maria Godden turned in the, there we go. As we have the staff of this European Under-23 Championships change that. I noticed Godden's time didn't come up. She maybe turned in 2nd or 3rd position, but it didn't come up, so obviously they're fixing that very quickly before we move on. The last time Ireland hosted a European event, I guess, was 20 years ago at the European Short Course Championships, what this arena was built for some 20 years ago. And our on-deck announcer Andrew Bree was famously won a silver medal there at that event, in 7th position with 50 to go, so he was way out of the medals with 50 to go and came back storming home to take a silver medal in front of a home crowd. It just shows you last night Ireland having 3 goals was real turnout unbelievable stuff for Irish swimming. You know, we don't usually have medalists on the world or European stage in swimming, so to have 3 in one night was just fantastic. With that great swim from Daniel Whiffen in a 14:35, just really distance swimming at the minute in the world is really, really, really fast. And the Olympics next year, and that 400, 800, 1500 is going to be super, super tight between all those top guys. I must say, having the South Africans and the Americans here as well as the Zimbabwe team, it's really added something else to this inaugural under-23 championships. You know, there's something about the Americans when they swim, you know, they have an aura, presence about them, that they're here to win, they're here to dominate. You know, so it definitely brings something to a competition like this, raises the standard for everybody else involved. So really nice addition by LEN to have them and the South Africans also at this competition. Contesting for commemorative medals, of course. They can't be European championships. Can't be European champions, excuse me. So there's still a few issues here. So we're going to take a quick break here until this is resolved. Oh no, we're not. Here we go. Looks to be resolved as the swimmers walk out. I don't know if they actually changed anything, but here we go. Sorry. We're not going to take a quick break. We're going to start the men's 200 metres breaststroke heat 1 of 3 in this. So Lucien Vernesch of France, 2:11.19. He's the fastest qualifier by some 0.9. From Demirkan Demir of Turkey, he's beside him in 5 and a 2:12 flat. And then Luca Janssen, the Dutch swimmer, goes in 3. He's a 2:12.8, so expect him to be slightly slower than that maybe this morning, just to try and get in for the final. But it's going to take maybe a 2:13, no, maybe slower than that, 2:14, 2:15 to probably get back for finals tonight. Maybe a 2:15. The 2-metre breaststroke, 4 lengths of the 50-metre long course pool in the breaststroke discipline. Very taxing on the lungs. You hold your breath for a lot longer than you do the other 3 strokes, especially off that turn. They have the underwater pullouts. So key, stay relaxed, and timing, a massive factor on the breaststroke. So going through the field, Pridenex of Latvia is in 1, Christensen 2 of Denmark, Janssen 3, the Dutch swimmer, Vernes of France is in 4, Demir, Turkey 5, Karoleta of Italy is in 6, Lisovets of Ukraine is in 7, and Heslop of the Republic of South Africa is in 8. So the first length is just about feeling yourself, feeling how your stroke is going down this first turn. You don't want to be expending anywhere near enough energy. Nice and long, nice and smooth, holding the water and utilising that glide. So it is Janssen first in a 29.89 from Lisovets, 0.4 back, and Vernex, the fastest qualifier, back 0.6. So a lovely, nice, long stroke. Check out the amazing glide of Janssen of the Netherlands. They've always had a rich history of good breaststrokers. Arno Kaminga notably being the most recent fantastic Dutch male breaststroker. So he's sort of asserting his dominance early in this heat 1 of 3. So they're going to have to kind of start 1:02.7. That's moving, folks. 1:02.7 is really quick, actually, for the first 50. Janssen, 1:02.74. Verniers, 1.61 back, but Janssen really just taking this to the rest of the field. Doesn't want to leave anything up to chance. Wants to make sure that he gets back for tonight's finals. As Janssen approaches the 150 mark. Out in the 1:02, that's really moving for a heat. You know, so he'll maybe switch off now. He knows he's ahead. Yeah, drop back with a 33.7 split for Janssen. Verniers 33.7, exactly the same actually. So expect maybe Verniers to close slightly, but Janssen won't be too worried as they come down the last 50. Where you've got to really think about upping the stroke rate but not sipping any water. Control that glide, head right down between the arms as you come back for home. The kick's so important as they come back here. Pressure about 60-70% in the legs. So it is going to be Janssen who's going to touch first, but he's under strong. Yeah, Janssen 2.11.2, Verniers 2.12.0. That's a really, really quick opening first heat. Lisovets of Ukraine did well to come back for third position in a 2.15.81. He's super happy with that. He can't believe how fast he's gone. Great to see. 2.11's a real quick time. But he knew damn well he was out in a 1.02. That was super, super quick. So the rest of the next two heats are going to have to be on their toes if they want to claim top spot. Lanes 4 and 5 for tonight's finals.
So Luke Janssen gets the victory in that for the Netherlands. 2.11.22. Lucien Verniers of France in second, and Lisovets in third. First heat of 3, so they will have a little bit of a wait, which by the looks of it is what you had ahead of that heat. Liam O'Connor goes for Ireland, and Owen Corby as well in this second heat of 3. Matej Sobotniak of the Czech Republic, the fastest going into it, and Maxim Ovchinov as well of Ukraine in lane 5.
So 2.11, the fastest time. Nope. He was out. Janssen was out in a 1.02 for the first 100, so let's keep an eye on the first 100 here, see what these swimmers are out in. 1.02 is pretty fast to be out in.
So Liam O'Connor of Ireland in 1, Wojciech Netra of the Czech Republic, Czechia in 2, and Corby of Ireland in 3, Matej Sobotniak of the Czech Republic in 4, Maxim Ovchinov of Ukraine in 5, Jonathan Rom of Israel 6, Dennis Fett Moldova 7, Emil Hassling of Sweden is in lane 8. So decent start in 4 by Sobotniak from the Czech Republic. Ovchinov of Chinikov recovering well for Ukraine is up there in third place, but Neth currently in second place. Corby is fourth for Ireland, 30.38, so he's not too far. He's 0.4 down on Sobotniak, who leads the way for the Czech Republic after that first 50, and is beginning to come into his own a little bit now, but Corby is not that far off the lead at all, and now Netra of the Czech Republic is also going well in lane 2.
Yeah, Czech swimmer in 2 is making the early groundwork. Corby is a 2.10 guy, so you know he hasn't been down there in a couple of years, but he's definitely got it in him. This his focus as a turn. It is Netra, as we said, the Czech swimmer 1.03.36 in second position. Ovchinov of Ukraine, and Corby down back in a 1.04 in third. So that's the important bit. This to increase the rate whilst keeping the stroke nice and long. Corby needs to make a little bit of a move here now, because the rest of the swimmers will come back. This is very tight amongst these kind of top 4. As we come down to this, the last turn going to be so important to not decelerate, attack the turn, strong pull out, and then keep the legs tight for home.
Ovchinnikov has recovered well in 5. Corby still trying to stay up there, and he is, and Net leads by 100th over Owen Corby, base of the National Centre in Limerick, coached by John Cijarne. Ovchinnikov now falling back down into third position. Wojciech Net of the Czech Republic. And now Corby has made a good move for it in lane 3. It's between Corby and Ovchinnikov at the moment in this sprint. Sobotniak trying to get back into it as well in lane 4 for the Czech Republic. Ovchinnikov surging. Corby trying to hold him off. And Corby did hold him off. Gets the win for Ireland by a 1/10 of a second ahead of Ovchinnikov. And third, good recovery, Sobotniak of the Czech Republic. And Corby gets the win, 2.12.67.
Yeah, great swim, Corby, 2.12.67. Got the job done, got his hand on the wall. Sometimes that's all you need to get your hand on the wall in the morning. Get back for tonight's finals. And hey, no matter what you do in your swimming career, Owen, you can say you've won a heat in your home country at the European Championships. Great swim, 2.12.6, so slightly slower than the 2.11 we saw from Janssen. So Janssen still occupying that lane 4 spot for tonight, but Corby takes the win from Ovchinov of Ukraine, from Zabuzik of the Czech Republic. So interesting. We've got a wonderful to see anybody sub 210. This morning we got Greg Butler who coming in the next one. He was 5th at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham in this event last year, so bit of international experience coming. And O'Connor was down in a 220.12. There you can see to the right of your picture, the two Irishmen, teammates.
So Owen Corby gets the win, 2:12.67 of Chinnikov edged out in the end for Ukraine in second, Sobojnik third for Czech Republic. Liam O'Connor was 7th and Jonathan Rum of Israel was disqualified. Heat 3 features Greg Butler of Great Britain. He's in lane 4 and Sasa Tomoglu of Greece in 5. Liam O'Hara of Zimbabwe back again. He goes in lane 8. 200 breaststroke, third heat of 3. So Brayton back of South Africa in 0, Zivanovic of Serbia in 1, Itzaki of Israel in 2, Kroos of the Netherlands in 3, Greg Butler, Great Britain 4, Tomoglu of Greece in 5, Mladenovic of Austria 6, Ralph Roos of Estonia in 7, and Liam O'Hara of Zimbabwe is in lane 8. And what a really good start by Ralph Roos of Estonia. In 7, he's got off brilliantly, and in 6 as well, Mladenovic of Austria. So after the first 50, it is Ralph Rosa of Estonia who leads, 30.11, 30.36 was Mladenovic, and in third, Greg Butler for Great Britain, 30.94. Gold in the 4x1 medley and last year's Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, bronze in the 4x1 mixed, and European bronze in the 4x1 mixed as well last year from Clayton, Staffordshire. Butler still trying to press through, but Ralph Rosa has really started impressively this. Estonia for 7, reaching halfway. Mladenovic now beginning to edge past him for Austria, and at halfway it's Mladenovic who leads, quarter of a second ahead of Rosa with Butler in third.
Yeah, 104.4, so the right slightly slower. Well, similar to the last heat, but slower than what Janssen was out in a 102 some 2 heats ago, so tight enough now. There's 5 swimmers all in the mix. So expect Butler to come through. Really talented breaststroker. Coming in the back end of a great wave of British breaststroke swimming. So still at the minute, it's lane number 6, Mladenovic of Austria. Looks really, really comfortable, really smooth and long. Bit of a unique kind of stroke as he touches first. He's a 1:39.1, some half a second clear of Butler, and Kroos is some half a second behind too. What a turn from Mladenovic. Wow, that is moving for him. So he's just got a statement of intent here to try and get his hand on the wall, book his spot tonight. He doesn't really want to be in the final. He wants to have a good centre lane as well. But here come the rest of the field.
Mladenovic, Butler, Kroos, and looking good in 6. Mladenovic, who took 2 seconds out of Ralph Roos alongside him in that last 50. It's a good bit of a move, I have to say, in 3 by Kroos. Butler trying to stay up. Mladenovic, Kroos, Butler the 1, 2, 3. They should be all okay. Tomoglu in 4. Itzaki 5.2.18. Might be a bit of a stretch, and Roos in 6.2.19, but well, that was a nice one in the end for Luka Mladenovic. And again, dominated that.
Yeah, hung on well. The rest of the field were coming hard, but he did very well to hang on for the touch there. 2:13, so slightly slower than what Corby was in the last heat. He'll be back for tonight's final, so that's going to be kind of fast. I thought it would be maybe a 2:15, 16 to get back. I think it might be around a 15, 16 to get back, maybe 15. We shall find out momentarily, but that's the 200 breaststroke in the books, just the 3 heats. Love watching that, the men's 200 metre breaststroke. The lead can change so easily because of its up and down nature of the breaststroke, as your swimmers are actively visibly going up and down, up and down. As you get more tired, that up and down motion will be even further exaggerated and you'll go even slower. So that's why you get big changes and big charges coming at the end of races in breaststroke. It's great to see. So we will get confirmation of results coming up shortly. There is Mladenovic of Austria.
Now that was the slowest of the 3 heats. Quite unusually, the first was the fastest. Mladenovic take you 2:13.74. Kroos in second, 2:13.89, and Butler third, 2:14.45. And Butler is in a position where he's hanging on to see if he reaches the final. Those below him, very unlikely to.
Yeah, it could be a 13 maybe. I'm now just looking at that. We'll get a look now. Yeah, it was a 13. No, 15 in the end, actually 10th. Well,
So Luke Janssen the fastest, Vernes and Owen Corby the third fastest for Ireland. So Butler and Tomoglu are the reserves to the final. Liam O'Connor was in 20th spot for Ireland. Ralph Rosa, who looked very good the first 100, didn't make it, down in 18th. Liam O'Hara was 23rd, and Jonathan Rum for Israel was disqualified.
maybe medal shout tonight for Corby and that. In third anyway.
50 freestyle for women. There are 4 heats in this. We've still a lot to go this morning. So Mesa Rachu, the fastest of this. Sophie Overing of Denmark in 5. Oh dear.
Massive false start.
That was a tremendous false start, I have to say.
Never
So
seen that in
away
a
we
while.
go. Yeah, well, we'll keep calling it for the moment. It's Hovering in 5, it's Rachu in 4, it's Hayon in 3. They're the top 3 right now. Hovering coming through in lane 5 with Rachu behind. Hovering is going to hit the wall first, ahead of Rachu, ahead of Pavlopoulou, 26.33.
Wow, that really would have thrown everyone. There's lane number 7, the Azerbaijan swimmer. Just went so early. I don't know if we'll be able to get a replay of that, but just a lapse in concentration. Just went before the buzzer. It happens. It happens. Famously happened to Ian Thorpe at the Olympic trials in 2004 for Athens. Just fell off the block before the race started. Yeah, it was. It's unfortunate for her to be disqualified from that, and hopefully it didn't throw the rest of the swimmers off too much. But you do see it. You do see it. So the winner there, take nothing away from Hovering, 26.3. Ratu of Romania, 26.6 as well. So before we move on to Heat 2.
Yeah, it's going to take a while for this to be ratified, but yeah, it was a very obvious early full start. Tremendously early. Means we're waiting for the ratification of that. It's unfortunate how that happens, but
it shouldn't take that long to ratify it. It's not like it was close, but it does happen. You see it more in athletics, Will, don't you? People going early, rarely in swimming.
Quite a lot, quite a lot. I mean, that's actually why they cut the 2 full start rule in athletics, and it used to be unlimited full starts. If people can remember back that long, going back 20 years.
I remember watching old videos of like Ben Johnson and 88
absolutely.
And that. Just people just playing with each other, mind games, trying to go early and play on each other's minds.
There was a very notorious one, John Drummond, in the 2003 World Championships in Paris, and he complained so much because they just changed the rules. So he was the first to be formally disqualified in a major championship, and he had something like a 20-minute sit-down protest at the Stade de France there, which I think annoyed a lot of people and upset even more schedules. But they changed the rules in athletics to match what's happening in swimming, because in swimming it is really rare to have a full start.
You would get a twitch on the block, you know, when the starter says take your marks, you have to grip the block and then you can't move. You can't twitch or move. So you maybe get a disqualification from that, but for somebody to actually take off before the buzzer is quite rare. I know they changed that rule in swimming a long time ago.
While we're waiting for this, I'll just go through the field for Heat 2. It'll be Marianne Jelic in 0 for Austria. Kirkatep of Denmark will be in 1. Nina Holt of Germany is back in 2. Nina Stanislavovic of Serbia 3. Neja Klanča of Slovenia will be in 4. Teresa Ivan will be in 5 for Slovakia. Alexandra Polanska of Poland in 6. Barbora Janiszkova of Czech Republic in 7. Mina Kaljevic of Serbia in 8. And Cornelia Palmer of Austria in lane 9. That disqualification has not formally happened from lane 1 yet. It looked very obvious. It looked as open and shut as you can get, to be honest, but
What was interesting with that, when they dove in and it was obviously a clear disqualification, the sort of emergency buzzer went off. You might have heard it.
Yeah, the disqualification obviously will be against the Azeri swimmer, Sheikh Alizada Kanga. And we're still waiting for that to formally come through. So in order not to hold up the rest of the races, they're going to move on for the moment. So this is Heat 2. So we've introduced these athletes already, but here they are visually. Neza Klančar of Slovenia is in lane 4. Teresa Ivan of Slovakia is in lane 5. Stanislavovic, also a good candidate for Serbia, in 3. So women's 50 freestyle and the second heat. So Klančar in 4 for Slovenia, Ivan in 5 for Slovakia, and starting well in 3 is Stanislavovic as well for Serbia. Not doing too badly in 2, actually just need a hold for Germany, needs a little bit more speed, but it's Klančar going very well for Slovenia right now. It's a good gap of half a length ahead of Ivan to a right for Slovakia, Stanislavovic as well for Serbia, but it is going to be Klančar to take it. Stanislavovic in 2nd, Ivan in 3rd.
A good swim, just slightly missing out on that. Sub-25 was Klančar of Slovenia, or Slovakia maybe. So, great swim there. 25.01 from Stanislavovic of Serbia in 25.43, and then Teresa of Slovakia, 25.5.
Yeah, Klančar, Stanislavovic, Ivan, Janishkova being Czech. They are the top 4. Czech Republic have said they want their name in English to be called Czechia from now on. But that's a different story, which will take too long. Here's Heat 3. Grace Cooper in 4. Vidkovic, Poland 5. Mona McSharry after her gold last night, the historic gold. She goes in lane 6, the first ever European under-23 gold medal. So Maud Strand of Sweden is in 0. Evelyn Davis of Great Britain in 1. Slushna of Slovakia in 2. Eberson of Denmark 3. Grace Cooper of USA 4. Vidkovic of Poland 5. Mona McSharry, Ireland 6. Cohorst of Netherlands 7. Nina Gengel of Austria in 8. And Caitlin DeLonge of South Africa 9. So underway in this third heat. So Cooper 4, Vidkovic 5, McSharry 6. Well worth keeping an eye on. Good start by Grace Cooper of the United States in lane 4, moving up well ahead of Vidkovic for now. McSharry's fighting hard in about 4th spot. Bit more movement needed from her in order to go up, but it's Cooper who's going to take this. Cooper looking very comfortable at this stage. Cooper, Vidkovic, Emerson the 1-2-3. McSharry was in 5th in the end. 25.64, tentative for her. Cooper not tentative at all. 24.96.
Yeah, Cooper, the American swimmer, 24.96, just under that 25 mark. Real professional swim for her. Vidkovic of Poland, 25.25. So that was tight along the entire way. As we see confirmation, Cooper, Vidkovic, Ebsen. McSharry just doesn't have the speed on that back 10 metres sort of to hang with those girls. 25.6 for her. So remember, this is a final is going to be a skins event tonight. I explained that during and we're changing the timing pad in lane number 3. So we'll explain it again later what that means. But we're on to the last heat though here, women's 50 free.
Yeah, Tessa Geiler is the fastest for the Netherlands, 24.74 going into this. This is why we didn't see her earlier, by the way. Julia Dennis of the United States goes in lane 5. Nina Yazzi of Germany is in 3. Bianca Costea of Romania in 6. So it's Butchuk of Estonia in 0. Yulia Maik of Poland in 1. Hajaloisu of Cyprus in 2. Yazzi in 3. Geiler 4. Dennis 5. Costea, Hoppenbrouwer, Svensson, Bergman. Underway in Heat 4 then. So Geiler worth watching out for in lane 4 after a gold last night, and Julia Dennis of the United States in lane 5. Dennis leading ahead of Geiler, going well in 8 is Svensson for Denmark as well, who's pushing up for second place right now, and Nina Yazzie as well for Germany, taking on Geiler, but Dennis going very well in 5. Dennis looking to hold on for the United States in 5, and it's Dennis who takes it. Geiler second, held on very well, 0.04 of a second between them, and Yazzie was in 3rd place in the end for Germany.
Yeah, a little bit slower that heat, 25.4 taking it, Dennis. So up for that straight arm stroke, so no bent elbow, so the straight arm stroke in the 50-meter freestyle, just the arm coming right over the top, almost like a big clock, just to be able to up the rate and get faster. That's what you do. Dennis, Gail, Jazzy, 25.4, 25.4, 25.5.
So they're still assessing what happened in that opening heat. So we won't summarise, don't have a summary for you in that for now. We'll see if we can come back to it. Men's 200 butterfly, heat 1 of 3. Denis Kesel of Ukraine, fastest in this field, with Michał Chmielewski of Poland in 5. Ramil Velitsa in 3. 200 butterfly it is. Unofficially, Cooper was fastest in that 50 freestyle, 24.96. Klanchar next, 25.014. Slovenia, and Fickovic third for Poland, 25.25. Mona McSherry was 13th in that, 25.64. Those are currently unofficial results due to that false start.
It shouldn't really affect the top 8 though, should it? I think she was far back enough to...
I don't think it'll affect the top 18, to be honest.
But it could be, the issue I think could be, because that buzzer went off as she dove in, that could have put off the rest of the swimmers. So maybe that's what they're debating, I don't know.
Could be a rerun, perhaps.
Could be a rerun.
We'll let you know. You can keep watching.
Crazier things have happened.
Men's 200 butterfly. So Kesel of Ukraine in this. 155 man this season. So it's Jed Bratt of Sweden in 1, Seki of France in 2, Valizada of Azerbaijan in 3, Kesel of Ukraine in 4, Tomljovski of Ukraine in Poland actually in lane 5, Avsanici of Portugal in 6, Sivec of Croatia in 7, and Conero of Luxembourg is in lane 8. As they come towards the end of the first 50, and Seki of France, well, we've seen a lot of this morning, doesn't start then in lane 2, but Kesel leading the way by half a second, ahead of Valizada of Azerbaijan in 2nd spot, and Aspanici of Portugal currently in 3rd place in this first heat of the 3.
Yeah, men's 2 fly, really important to get out to a bit of a stormer on the 200 fly. You kind of want to be in a good position. You certainly can't win the 200 metre butterfly at 100 metres, but you can certainly have it lost already if you're not kind of in the mix. So kind of comfortable here from the Polish swimmer. It is Chmielewski of Poland, 56.0. That's really nice from Kesel from a 56.2, and Valizda in a 56.6. So now he'll begin to try and progress, try and just build this. You want to almost, butterfly is one of those weird strokes where almost if you don't try as hard, you try and almost back off, it hurts even more. It's hard to explain. Whereas if you kind of keep the hammer down, keep the momentum going, it almost hurts less, and you carry that time in it and that momentum through the stroke. So Chmielewski, 1:26.81, very comfortable lead on the rest of the field. Coming down to this last 35 metres, he'll be in the final tonight, no doubt.
Chmielewski was leading Kesel by 0.17 with 50 to go, and he's increasing that lead. The Pole even more so, moving up is Kesel for Ukraine, deep in 2nd place. Aspanici has recovered well, having fallen majorly out of the top 3. He's up in the 3rd spot now, but it will be victory for Chmielewski of Poland, 1:56.34. Kesel in 2nd place, Aspanici in 3rd, and the winning time 1:56.34.
Yeah, solid swim. Chmielewski 1:56.3. Just looked to be in complete control by 100 metres, and just sort of the lead didn't really extend. After about 125 metres, he just held on. So that's key as the summary's coming up now. Chmielewski 1:56.3, Kesel 1:57.8, and Aspanici of Portugal 1:58.4. So we'll remain to be seen if that is enough to get back. I'd imagine it should be for him as we move on to heat 2, just the 3 heats.
Krzysztof Kamiewski's turn now. The other twin with Noyan Taylan of France. The second fastest of this field, 156.52. The Kamiewski brothers. Michał has won his heat. Krzysztof's turn now. They're both 18. Well, they would have to both be 18. Jaskiewicz going for Poland as well. Decent in the final of the 100 butterfly, and the Polish bronze medalist in the 50 fly and the 200 fly.
Imagine having 2 twins from the same event. There'll be some sibling rivalry there at home.
It's going to be fun if they both make the final. I'll put it to you like this. And we've seen it before. We had Estonian triplets in the Olympic marathon in Rio.
Estonian triplets?
Yep. Jankovic in 0, Dagata in 1, Lunak in 2. It's Adrian Jaskiewicz in 3, Krzysztof Kamiewski in 4, Taylan 5, Schubert in 6, Urbanek in 7, and Jakub Puźnik in lane 8 in heat 2 of 3. It was the Luik triplets for Estonia in that Olympic marathon, and I think they all finished around the same area, around 30th or 40th. But anyway, at the end of the first 50 here, it's the other Kamiewski twin, Krzysztof, who leads the way, 26.19. Jaskiewicz second for Poland, 26.43, only 0.24 down. And Taylan currently in third spot for France. Schubert was in fourth place for Germany. Not looking too bad either. So Krzysztof Kamiewski is just being reeled in a little bit by his teammate Jaskiewicz. It's Poland 1 and 2 at the moment. Taylan looking to fight back a bit for France, but as they head halfway, it's Kamiewski who leads Jaskiewicz. Poland 1-2 by 0.36. Taylan third.
Yeah, Poland 1-2. Kamiewski slightly faster than his brother. 55.8. The brother was out in the 56.0, so he's almost swimming it the same way as his twin brother, just getting out in front at 100 now, trying to build a lead, coming into 150 and just hang on, coming home. So sometimes in fly it's hard to kind of catch up if you're too far back. So Kamiewski of Poland now ahead of his counterpart Jaskiewicz in 3. So we'll take a look at the time. It's Kamiewski from Thailand, from Lunak, but I think Jaskiewicz back and forth in a 128.2. So lead extending now. Looks like it's going to be a Kamiewski 1-2 as it stands going into the final heat. But last 25 is so important.
156.34 was the time swum by Michał Kamiewski earlier. It's Krzysztof's turn to win this. What's his time going to be? It looks to be quite impressive. It'll be around the same mark. It's only 700ths out. 156.27. Taylan in second, and Sebastian Lunak for the Czech Republic recovered very well. So at the moment, 2 fastest times by the Kamiewski twins. Krzysztof takes that one, 156.27.
Yeah, that is very good from him, but 156.2, so right around where his brother was, as we'll get confirmation. Kamiewski first, Thailand second, Lunak third. So they'll be going in currently 1 and 2. God, I'd love to see a twin brother gold and silver tonight. That would be unbelievable. We've got Gabriel Jett going in the next one, that winner of the men's 100 fly last night.
So heat 3 of 3, the men's 200 butterfly, Gabriel Jett. Excellent last night. Going again for the United States. He's in lane 4 of this, and Aaron Shackle as well in lane 5 for the United States. Jett taking the honorary gold, the NCAA team champion for last year, the Pac-12 champion as well. University of California in Berkeley. Actually, his parents were tremendously talented athletes in their own right. Mother Christian, 15-time All-American. Father Scott, 16-time All-American.
So I was seriously impressed with Jett in the 100 last night. He's in a 154.3. That's really fast for it to fly, some way clear of the field.
So it's Tobler in lane 0 for Estonia. Mizrachi for Israel in 1. Jack Casson of Ireland in lane 2 from the National Centre in Limerick. It's Miguel Martinez of Spain in 3. Gabriel Jett again for the United States in 4. Aaron Shackle of the United States in 5. Really impressive yesterday himself. Polat Uzetanali of Turkey in 6. Rizek 7. Abzic 8 for Bosnia and Herzegovina. So good start for Jet and Shackle, as you would very much expect, but also in sixth by Tonali, I have to say. Yeah, he's in second spot, and Rizek got in ahead of them. Casson in third place for Ireland. Jet and Shackle just slipped down. They were only out by 500-600ths, but this has been a real turnaround. Very little between the top 5 after the first 50. Now Jet and Shackle are beginning to fight back a bit, but good work by Martinez. Jack Casson has slipped back a little bit as we reach 100. There's going to be a big turnover in the names here from the first 50, as it is Jet who leads now, Martinez second, and Casson still up there in third for Ireland, 0.38 down.
Yeah, Casson's hanging on as best he can. He wants to book his place in that final tonight, but expect these Americans in the middle to come home really quickly, as well as the Spanish swimmer Martinez Nova really beginning to move. Casson trying to hang on. He's got a really strong aerobic endurance background, the Irish record holder in the 400 metres individual medley. But this now, the last turn, so important. Jet looks to have fallen back a wee bit. Jet looks a little bit laboured. He needs to get moving. I don't think he will, you know. Shackle, the leader now, looking super strong. What a turn. Casson, can he get his hand on the wall to get a place in that final tonight?
Jet was 3 seconds down on Shackle that time. Casson was 2 seconds faster than him. And Casson is moving up well here for Ireland to hit the front. This is really good work. Martinez as well. Martinez in 3 has made the big move. And if there is going to be an American in the top 3, it's going to be Shackle and no longer Jet, who's turned them off. Shackle, Martinez, Tonali, the 1-2-3. 1:57 the winning time. Casson was 4th, 2 minutes, 0.20. Very tentative for him. I'm not sure Casson has made the final, but Shackle has done enough. 1:57.49 to get the win.
Yeah, Casson did all he could. 2 minutes just outside his best. Shackle showing his real professionalism and experience in a 1:57.4. Those top 2 will be back. Shackle and Martinez for sure. Tonali was good. 1:58.2 as well, as we get confirmation now. Shackle, Martinez, Tonali, Casson might just enough, and Jet had an absolute shocker. 2:03.85, some almost 10 seconds slower than his best. Do not know what happened there. A piano on his back, Will, on that last 50.
Great 100. The second 100 not so much so. It is the Kimielewski twins, Christoph and Michał, the 2 fastest, and divided there by 700ths of a second. Jack Casson just misses out on a reserve spot for the final. He was 12th fastest. Tobler did not start that final heat in the end, but a lot of the action was in the inside lanes. There will be a re-swim of that women's 50 freestyle at the end of this session as we go to the men's 400 individual medley. There are 3 heats in this. Well, there are 2 heats in this. Now, I know this says heat 1 of 3, but we've only got 2 heats listed
They may
in
be
our
some of the
sheets.
fastest heat tonight, maybe, I don't know.
Well, it's Liam Veby and Heine Askam of South Africa and the Faroe Islands, respectively, who are coming up in the middle lanes here. And you are absolutely correct. The third heat of the 3, and along with the women's 400 IM, they will be tonight. Good spots.
I noticed the women's only had maybe 9 competitors entered, so they're just doing obviously that final tonight. So just the 2 more races to bring you this morning, plus that rerun of that 50 free.
So this is heat 1 of 3 in the men's 400 IM. So it's Rowan Brighton back in lane 3 for South Africa. Liam Veby of South Africa in 4. Heine Askam of the Faroe Islands in 5. Alexei Glavinsky of Israel in 6. Actually, it's really gratifying to see a sizable enough team from the Faroe Islands coming here. Glavinsky moving up well for Israel and will be our leader at the end of the opening 50 of this 400 IM. And getting things moving really well and fly very early on. Veby in second place right now, and Brayton back in third. Askam is back down a little bit for the Faroe Islands, but they've sent a nice sizable team here. which is really, really positive for them. So as we approach the end of the first element, the quarter-way point, Glavinsky leading the way at the end of the fly, and it's 58.42. He leads as we go into the backstroke, a second clear of Baby of South Africa.
Yeah, some of these swimmers with no times, most notably in lane number 6, our current leader, Glavinsky of Israel. David Marsh, legendary American coach, used to coach at Auburn and famously swim back in North Carolina. Coached lots of Olympic champions, is now coaching the Israeli team. So these two looking just to post good times, solid times for Veby and Glavinsky. You know, not be looking at the medals later on. They just want to get a good time in. The last time they'll swim this 400 medley this season. So 400 medley, super tough event. Super tough event. Got to be unbelievably fit. You got to have a turn of speed in all 4 strokes. And most notably now, breaststroke, which is the most drag by a country mile of all the 4 strokes. You have to do 100 metres of that after you've done 2 lengths of fly and 2 lengths of backstroke back to back. So you got to be super fit. And these swimmers now touch together. I would imagine that 100 metres from now, they won't be 0.3 apart. One will be a much better breaststroke than the other. Usually that's what happens. Now I've said that it probably won't happen, but the breaststroke is kind of what separates the really good from the not so good on the 400 metres individual medley.
Well, they are very much stroke for stroke at the moment as they approach the 250 mark. There's very little between Alexei Glavinsky, who's more towards the top of your picture, and Baby, who's in lane 4. Now here's the turn at 250. So what's between them? That's 1.3 seconds. So Glavinsky losing a bit of ground, quite a bit of ground in the final few metres there, and in terms of the turn. Brayton back is 6 seconds back in 3rd position. So this is where Liam Baby has decided to make a good push forward as part of a very large South African team here. No, it has got quite a few unawares why there would be South African and United States and Zimbabwean teams here, but they are swimming for ceremonial medals, which have their own value. Green medals here, being in Dublin. So the freestyle to come, 100 metres remaining. Baby with the turn. He's opened up a gap of 3.17, so there's the difference for you. Baby leading the way by a good margin, and Brayton back actually now has got a good margin back on Glavinsky. Only about 2 seconds down and 75 to go.
Yeah, like I said, the breaststroke's so important. Really separates. If you've got a good breaststroke, it makes it so much easier. Leon Marchand famously breaking that Michael Phelps' world record 2 weeks ago. Seemed untouchable. He had a 107 breaststroke split. So, breaststroke key. You know, if you're aspiring 400 medley swimmer, look at the breaststroke, work on the breaststroke. That's so important. But by a country mile now in this Heat 1, it is Veby, the South African. He's just going to storm through. He's entered in time of 4:38.24. He should be well below that, well, as the swimmer 2 lanes above him in 6th. Glavinsky just trying to hang on.
Veby performing really well in this. He is going to get victory in this opening heat, and he will win it in 4:30.66. Glavinsky hanging on in 2nd spot. 3.5 seconds down. Veby with a new lifetime best. Brayton back in 3rd. And Askham will be in 4th spot for the Faroe Islands. It's coming through in lane 5 now. Those are the vagaries of these early heats where not everybody has a time recorded. Askham actually is the 2nd fastest time on paper, but there are 2 others without times who've ended up being a little bit faster. Anyway, Veby takes the win, 4:29.95. As we hurtle towards the last scheduled race, but don't go anywhere because we do have that re-race to come in the women's 50 freestyle. A lot more about that when it comes round. 4:29.95. Veby gets the win for South Africa.
Yeah, the next heat's going to be a lot closer. A lot of 4:19s in the middle, 4:20, so should be a wee bit more of a race to enjoy for the neutral. There's coming up now. See all the 4:19s in the middle, 4:20s, 4:21s. That's very close for a 400 metres event to be. So a good race for our penultimate race of the morning session.
Michał Judycki is the fastest of the field from the Czech Republic. Vasileios Sophoklitis of Greece next up. They're both 4:19 men. There are 3 4:19 men this season in it. Eight are sub 4:22 men. And remember, the third of the 3 heats tonight, the fastest heat. So it's Dikash of Slovakia in 0, Dram of Germany in 1, Sandberg Oktar of Turkey in 2, Georgidis of Greece in 3, Judycki of the Czech Republic in 4, Sophoklitis of Greece in 5, Jakub Bursa, the Czech Republic in 6, Gartman, Switzerland 7, Spediaci of Italy in 8, and Berložnik of Slovenia in lane 9. Starting off in the fly, going very well in 7 is Gartman. He leads 26.83 after the opening 50, and Dikash in lane 0 for Slovakia, 0.45 down. Sophoklitis was in 3rd place after the first 50. Spediaci speeding up for Italy in 4, Dram of Germany in 5. But it's the other 3 elements that have got a prospect of burning them out, burning them up a little bit, but Gartman has done impressively well anyway. For Switzerland, leading the way here after the opening 100. He'll be ahead by a nice bit, by over a second over Dikash in 2nd place, and Sophoklitis in 3rd. 4th will be Georgidis as we go into the backstroke, but still a good advantage for the Swiss in lane 7.
Yeah, obviously butterfly more his specialty. You know, us, myself and Will watching here, we don't really know what these swimmers' strengths and weaknesses are. We're just commentating on what we're seeing, but it's evident that he's got a strong butterfly leg and he has to use that to his advantage. Does Gartman. He's holding this advantage a little bit less, maybe 131.2 from a 133.0. Spediaci of Italy is a 1.76 back, so interesting to see. Watch out for the same thing in the last heat. Watch out for the field to drastically change at this breaststroke. So always a sort of tendency for swimmers in the backstroke to kind of switch off because they're preempting the thought of that breaststroke leg, the breaststroke leg being the most important. But actually, I think Will extending his lead here coming into the 200 metre mark. It is Gartman. He's going to touch maybe 204-ish.
So halfway, Gartman has the lead, 1.86 ahead of Spediaci. Dikash in 3rd spot, and in 4th, Georgidis going really well. Lane 2 is empty, by the way. Oktar didn't start for Turkey, but now the breaststroke is basically the discipline that can start gobbling them up. He is still out in front, Gartman, but now the rest are beginning to catch up in him, particularly in lanes 4 and 5. Judycki in 4 for the Czech Republic, Sophoklitis of Greece in 5. Georgidis actually is not that far away in 3 either. Gartman is hanging on, leading by 1.23, so that's not bad actually. He's not lost a lot of time. Judycki took a second and a half, second and third, 1.3, 1.4 up in that 50. And now moving back up in 5 is Vasileios Sophoklitis, who's reeling Gartman in, approaching the freestyle, and he hits the front now for Greece. The Swiss did really well in the opening 400, but it has been in the breaststroke that he has been nibbled at. But he'll still be high, may still be in the top 3 when they turn over. Sophoklitis leads, Judycki a second behind for the Czech Republic in 2nd spot, and Gartman 3rd, so he's still up there in 109. So how good is his 100-metre dash? We're about to find out. It is Sophoklitis leading the way.
Sophoklitis supreme breaststroke clearly completely overhauled Gartman. So Gartman obviously breaststroke a bit weaker for him. The rest of the field came strong, but the Greek swimmer pulling away now. Fantastic freestyle. Not so much about any tactics now. It's just what you have left. Sophoklitis turns 3:49.8. That was a 30.6 split for him, and he's going to kick for home. Gartman doing his best to hang on. I don't think he's going to even be in the top 3. He's really hurting, trying to bring the legs. 25 to go. It's going to be Greece, but coming just above him, looking really strong on lane number 5. Or lane number 6, sorry, is Bursa.
Sophoklitis looking very good and very much in control. Bursa moving up for the Czech Republic. Judycki as well, his Czech teammate. But Sophoklitis gets the win, 4:20.66. Bursa in 2nd. Georgidis right at the end, shot up into the top 3 for almost the first time in that entire contest. Dram was 4th, Yuditsky was 5th. Gartman in the end, after leading for most of it, was in 6th place. But that is the 400 IM for you. Sofokidis wins 420.66.
Yeah, the 400 IM, it's a distance event, it's long. You know, you got to be, you know, really efficient in all 4 strokes, very tough. So for those of you who don't swim or have never swam, watching that event, that's one of the toughest events to do. Because technically you have to be on it, you got to be fit, you got to have a turn of speed. You got to also have crazy mental resilience to do that. And I was a 50 freestyle, 100 freestyle sprinter. My race was over maximum 50 seconds. You know, these guys are racing for 4.5 minutes, trying to battle different things. Really tough. Confirmation, Sofokidis 420, Bursa 420.94, and Yurtidis of Greece 421.6. That was a great race, Will.
And remember, the 3rd heat of the 3 will be tonight. That is nominally the fastest heat. We do have more action to come because the women's 50 freestyle is coming up. So now, this is an interesting redraw.
Yeah, I think I know what's happened here, Will. I think basically what they've done is they've offered anybody who was in that heat where there was that big false start, they've offered to any swimmer who was in it, if you want to swim it again, you can. So these 4 swimmers have opted to swim it again, whereas the other 6 have said, you know what, no, I'm happy enough. I don't think it affected me, so I'm happy enough with my time. So it's just giving every swimmer a fair chance to swim again. So these 4 are getting another shot, but I assume their time that they went will be erased, and this will be the one that will count.
And moreover, they are staying in their original lanes. So in lane 1, it's Zakarul Kaligeri of Greece. In 3, Ariel Ayon of Israel. In 4, Mesa Raciu of Romania. And in 6, it is Georgia Pavlopoulou of Greece. Raciu finished 2nd, Pavlopoulou 3rd.
And most notably, Pavlopoulou was next to the swimmer who did the false start about an hour ago, so she's having another go.
So away they go. So a very unusual women's 50 meters freestyle. It is nominally heat 5 now, and leading the way in 3 is Hayan of Israel, but over on the far side in 6, Pavlopoulou going very well for Greece, and also now Ariel Ayon of Israel emerging slightly. So in 4 it's Raciu, in 6 is Pavlopoulou. Pavlopoulou's looking really good. Pavlopoulou, Raciu and Hayon. So that's the 1, 2, 3, and then those results will be put through alongside what we originally had in the first 4 heats, particularly heat 1. So the names have been wiped out absolutely from the system. 26.30 for Pavlopoulou, and that's not going to be enough in the end. Pavlopoulou ranked 27th. Pavlopoulou 26.30. That's the time coming up for her.
So that's not going to affect the top 8, is it, Will? I don't think so.
Actually, no, Pavlopoulou is ranked 27th because of that, so she does not progress.
We have a swim off here in the men's 50 freestyle. One more race to bring you. It's been a tie for 8th position. So when there's a tie, for those of you who don't know, when there's a tie for 8th to get into the final, they don't just toss a coin. They swim off again. So they do a head-to-head, 1v1. Doesn't matter what time you go. Doesn't matter if you go 10 seconds slower. As long as you beat the person next to you, you're in that final. So you find a lot of the times on a 50-meter freestyle swim off that the swimmers will go faster than what they went, you know, previously. So it's a really interesting concept and great to watch as well.
So Grace Cooper, the fastest in the women's 50 freestyle heats, 24.96. Klančar second for Slovenia, 25.01. Fikovic third up for Poland. Mona McSharry 13th fastest for Ireland after her gold medal winning heroics last night, 25.64. Nina Holt for Germany in 23rd spot, 26-21. And that disqualification for Sheikh Halizada. Kanga causing the original delay in the women's 50 freestyle, but moreover the fact that the buzzer went, which we mentioned at the time, but we said we'd keep calling the race as the race was still on, and the results did count. And here is now your swim off in
it's the women's
freestyle between Femke Hoppenbauer and Schlusner.
So they're joint top 8. So
Lilian
they'll swim off
Schlusner
for the spot in the skins final tonight.
of Slovakia. So this is actually very similar to what we'll be seeing later on.
Yeah. Time irrelevant here, completely irrelevant. Just got to get your hand on the wall, beat the person next to you. That's all it is. It's racing at its purest. Netherlands versus Slovakia.
So Hoppenbauer is going to be in 4 and Schlusner in 5. Femke Hoppenbauer, who went in heat 4, and Schlusner, who went in heat 3, and matching in 25.60. So it's a straight head-to-head.
Exciting. We saw a 200 free swim off yesterday, wasn't it, Will? That would take a little bit more out of you than this to 50. So here we go. Winner of this will get a spot in the skins final tonight. Our last race of the morning heats. It's been a great morning of racing. Hoppenbauer versus Schlusner.
So away we go. Hoppenbauer is in the black and Schlusner is in the turquoise. And it's a straight race to the wall between the two. Slight advantage for Schlusner right now in lane 5. Hoppenbauer trying to fight back a little bit for the Netherlands. There's still very little between them, frankly. Hoppenbauer moving up. Hoppenbauer just edging ahead of Schlusner. Can she get to the wall first? She can by 900. That's an improvement, actually. 25.30. The time doesn't go forward, though. It's just simply the race to see who wins it, and it was Hoppenbauer who got in ahead of Schlusner, and that was quite a decent swim-off in the end, I have to say, between those two. And we're seeing a lot more of that tonight. That is what the skins racing will look like eventually. So Hoppenbauer wins for the Netherlands, 25.30. She advances. Schlusner of Slovakia had a longer morning than she was anticipating, but she does not now progress.
Yeah, both swimmers going faster than this morning. Always happens in a swim off where you get a bit of something extra when you got to win.
So we're back at 6 p.m. in exactly 6 hours time pretty much, and we're underway with the women's 100 breaststroke final, men's 50 backstroke, women's 200 butterfly. And again, if you're watching somewhere within 6 hours of this venue, you would be very welcome. There will still be tickets available. Great atmosphere last night, and we're anticipating the same again tonight for the second evening session of the 3 for Dublin 2023, these European under-23s. Thanks for joining us again from Will Downing and David Thompson. We'll be back with you this evening. Until then, take care.
No matter where, no matter when, we will be there. At Fluidra, we develop competition pools for all types of sport events. Because we are Fluidra, the perfect pool experience.